Sounds good.
That looks fine. That looks fine. Is that what you think? That's where he had it last game? Somewhere in the middle? I'm not entirely sure.
Yes, that's about where it was.
I think
last
we're
time.
just going off to back from right there. Yeah, they're still. Oh, there they come. Now they're walking out now. Rockers is. So they got about a 200-yard walk ahead of them before they'll make it back out.
Audio looks good. So
sweet.
All right.
Welcome into Lee Summit West High School. Tonight we are going to watch the battle between the Lee Summit West Titans against the Rockhurst Hawklets. This one, it's the 1-2 Lee Summit West coming in after a home loss last week to Blue Springs. They dropped that one 31-6 here at home. Or excuse me, week one is 31-6. Last week they dropped their game, put up 14 in that one, 30-14 to Liberty North at home. So 0-2 at home for West. Rockers, on the other hand, 3-0 coming into this one with a lot of momentum. 8-10 varsity, we have them ranked as the number 5 team in the Metro, something to keep your eyes on. Coming into this game, what are we looking for? What do you got for us?
Well, I see a Lee Summit West team that's, obviously very upset by how their game went last week against Liberty North. You and I were here for that. And, Liberty North just absolutely controlled the majority of the game. Now, I think to start off in the first quarter, it was just a defensive battle back and forth. But the Liberty North offense found some momentum, and they were able to pick up on it and go with it. And I think Lee Summit West defense was just on the field too long. And, so that's going to be the challenge for the Titans tonight. Can the defense get some stops early and spend less time on the field than the offense? And on the other hand, though, for Rockhurst, they're off to a really good start this season, 3-0, coming off of that 35-14 win over Olathe North last week. So, this is going to be a test for the Titans, of course, another test for them here at home. But they haven't won a game at home yet this season, and if they can, this would be a huge win for them if they can pull off the upset. But meanwhile, for Rockhurst, they got a matchup, next week against Bishop Miege, and obviously they want to go into that game, 4-0 and their offense too. They've got a lot of players that on their offense that can play both ways. You're going to see a lot of that tonight, and watch out for Cash Lewandowski. He's been the driving force for that Rockhurst offense, and we'll see how much action he gets tonight.
Yeah, and I like your first point, Austin. I totally agree. I think going back last week, West offense, a lot of 3-and-outs, a lot of turnovers. It looks like Rockers will receive the opening kickoff here tonight. But yeah, their defense is not bad for West. They have a solid defense, but they just spent a lot of time on the field. And I think in any game, you're asking a lot of that defense to consistently go out there, consistently get stops for you. Eventually, you're just going to run out of momentum. You're going to run out of steam. They're going to score. And that's what happened in that game. And it's funny you say it because, honestly, last year, that was kind of their issue, too. Their defense is solid for West. They just can't get as many stops as their offense. So
right.
If the offense can take a step forward tonight, I think we'll be looking at a good game.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's all going to come down to how this game starts, right? Because I think, it's kind of a cliche thing to say, right? But I really feel like for West, though, depending on how they start the game, I think that's really going to translate into the next 3 quarters. So if they can get off to a good start tonight, they should be in business. But Rockhurst, you can't have, little mental mistakes or anything like that, especially with penalties. You saw the game, last week, Kate. We were here, and there were penalties flying around, not just for West, but also for Liberty North, but the penalties were just piling up.
Yeah.
Especially defensively. Yeah. It was more of the defense really picking up those penalties. So if you can clean that up tonight, we might be seeing a pretty good game.
I agree, and you kind of took one of my ones to watch there with Lewandowski, but another guy to keep your eye on for Rockers as they're getting ready to start here on offense for me is got to look at Warren Robinson last Friday. 2 catches, 103 yards, and a touchdown. A solid receiver for Rockers. Look for them to get the ball early to him. But a team a week ago that ran the ball 20 times and only threw it 9 times. So they like to run it a lot, and we'll see if they get into that run offense early and try to establish kind of the dominance in this game up in the trenches. As we are all set to go, the kick is off and away. Rockers will receive it, and they're going to return it. Caught at about the 3-yard line. Took up to the 20, to the right hash, up to the 30. Sees a lane, tackled down at the 35 and falling forward to the 40 about. And that is where Rockers will start this opening drive.
Yeah, that's a really good return. Obviously, to start the game off with a good kickoff return, it sets up well for your offense. And we're going to see Garrett Miller and this Hawklet offense go to work. They've been on fire to start the season.
Yeah, anytime you can get to 3-0, you're completing the game in every aspect. Offense, defense, special teams. Rockers is always one of those very disciplined schools. They're always trying to do the right thing. And you talk about penalties. When I talk about discipline, Rockers usually does not pick up a lot of penalties. So if West wants to compete, they've got to be even in the penalty game. One wide receiver, bottom of your screen. Takes a snap, Miller. Looking for somewhere and instantly goes down. A 5 front by the Titans, gets home on the first play of the game. He was looking to possibly get the ball to Blake Thomas there, but no time.
Yeah, it's just not enough time for Miller to get the ball off. I mean, you see Lee Summit West, they've got a 4-man front, and they brought the pressure right away. I mean, obviously you get a sack on the first play of the game, and obviously can set the tone, but see what Rockhurst can do here on a 2nd and long situation.
I think you're right. They had that 4 front, Austin, and they sent a linebacker, but it was the defensive end on the right is the one that got free. So you're going to run bunch to the left here for Rockhurst. Lewandowski in the backfield. He will get the carry here, bouncing it to the right side, makes one man miss and falling down after a gain of around 7 yards for Cash Lewandowski.
Yeah, you're going to see a lot of Cash Lewandowski tonight. I said it right before we got kickoff going. You're going to see a lot of the ground and pound game from this Rockhurst offense.
So a 6-yard gain for Lewandowski brings up a 3rd and 7 now. An early 3rd down for Rockhurst after the sack on 1st and the gain of 6 from Lewandowski on 2nd. Same formation. That tight end on the right side, possibly another run. Going to go a hard count here from Miller, trying to get him to jump off sides, and now a timeout by Rockhurst. Good job by the Titans. We talked about avoiding penalties. There's one early.
Well, Rockhurst using one of their first timeouts on the first drive. Obviously, a head scratcher right there. Obviously, you don't want to burn one of your first timeouts to start the game off right away. But, Rockhurst, they just don't know what they're doing here on the first drive. And Lee Summit West, on the other hand, they're bringing pressure right away.
Yeah, Coach Cruz is going to be calling some of the plays for them. He's down in the huddle with them. I am curious, though. You kind of make a good point. I don't know if that was lack of knowing the play call, or if that was a hard count they were trying to design to get him to jump off sides and maybe make it a 3rd and 2. And you go back, like you talked about, Lee Summit West, as many penalties as they pick up. I mean, why not to try to get him to jump off, get that false start or encroachment on the defense, move it forward 5 yards, 3rd and 2, makes it a lot more manageable. But this time out, what do you think, Austin? What are you doing 3rd and 7 here?
I would anticipate maybe some play action. If not, maybe just a straight pass from Miller. I think you've got to get the ball downfield, and you got to do it quick. I mean, you see Lee Summit West bringing the pressure right away. They're not wasting any time winning the battle up front.
Lewandowski lined up to the right side of Miller. 2 receivers, the bottom of your screen for the Hawklets. Snap, took a high snap by Miller. It's going to be a screen passed out to the left to the 40, up to the 50 on the left numbers, and tackled right at the line to gain. And yes, enough for the first down. The catch there by Blake Thomas.
Yeah, just a really good play design right there. Not much space on the outside, but Blake Thomas was able to find his way out for a first down. It's a big first down after having to burn one of their first timeouts here in the first drive.
Yeah, good heads-up play there by Blake Thomas. I mean, he got tackled, but he kind of fell forward, kind of knowing where the yard to gain is, and it was close, but a really big pickup there on this opening drive for Rockhurst. Gets you a fresh set of downs. 1st and 10 now. They're going to go 2 receivers to the right with a tight end lined up in the bunch, top of your screen. Miller takes the snap. Screen now to the right side. It's going to be caught once again by Thomas, working upfield and falling forward for about 5. So right back to Blake Thomas, a pass behind the line of scrimmage.
You and I talked about Blake Thomas a little bit before we went live, and talked a little bit about him and Lewandowski getting the carries and all that. Blake Thomas really, he's been the biggest pass catcher for Rockhurst here to open up these first couple of weeks. I mean, he's also been involved in the running game, especially on the end arounds and stuff. But I mean, you'll see maybe a little bit of that later on in the game.
Lewandowski, the lone back in the backfield. 2 receivers now moving that bunch set to the left. It's going to be a pitch play to Lewandowski, who's going to cut it back right, working up the middle, right behind his center, falling forward near the line of scrimmage. Does he have enough?
It's going to be close. He got up all the way to the 40-yard line, it looks like. If not, he's just going to be a few inches short of that first down marker. But
great heads-up play there by Lewandowski. He with a good cutback there. They're going to call him short. Should bring up 3rd and about 1.
Yeah, I expect them to go right back to Lewandowski here on a 3rd and short situation.
See, I like this getting a little bit bigger, but possibly a fullback dive here to Coppinger, number 42, the senior, plays linebacker and fullback for him.
There you go.
I like it.
Yeah, you said it right before you called it. I thought it was going to be right back to Lewandowski, but I mean that's smart right there, especially in a 3rd and short situation. Why not go with the fullback and get yourself a first down?
The fullback is a dying position. If there was any endangered position in football, I think it would be the fullback. So
absolutely,
I'm always here to see a fullback dive up the middle, some hard-fought yards there for the first down for Rockers. And now, once again, their 2nd first down, moving right along here in the first quarter. Just about 8 minutes here to go. Going to go bunch to the left. One single. Lewandowski's going to motion out to the slot. false start on Rockers, I believe, here. We'll see what the call is.
Yeah, I think there was just some movement up front early, right before Miller took the snap. And that's our first penalty of the game for either side.
Yeah, Quinn Walsh out at receiver. I hadn't seen that a lot from him. They two-play guys. I mean, we haven't even mentioned that yet. Both ways. Rockers, I mean, I counted about 7 or 8 guys that'll go both ways for Rockers, offense and defense, that is. And I had not seen him out there for him. But, yeah, Quinn Walsh, the outside linebacker, was set up possibly for a block there. Looks like they were going to that quick screen to Lewandowski on that play, so backs him up a long way. Now 1st and 15 on the 5-yard penalty. We'll spread things out here a little bit more. More of a pass-look formation. 3 receivers to the left, 1 to the top. Miller, good snap. Fakes the pitch to the left, rolls out right, looking downfield. Got a target open. Great pass on the money. Caught and tackled forward after a gain of about 20 yards.
That's great play design again. And this time Miller rolls out to his right side where, you know, when you look at the battle up front for West and Rockhurst, I mean, I think Rockhurst up front, they're a lot stronger on the right side. So being able to see Miller roll out to his right, he had a lot of space in front of him too. He had all the time in the world and got a really nice pass play out to the outside.
The sophomore Johnson with the 20-yard reception, a big first down there on a 1st and 15, possibly a chance for the Titans to get a stop, not to be. Miller running the speed option, will pitch it. One man to beat up the sideline and tackle down to the 20 after making the first guy miss. A gain of about 5 there.
Well, Rockers, they had a little bit of a rocky start to this first drive, but after that timeout, they really got things going, so the timeout must have worked in their favor.
Ben
at least
Hayes
so far
with the carry there, the sophomore. 5'10", 160 on the speed option. Great read there, too, by Miller on that speed option. He kind of took a tackle there. Great pitch. Get it to your speedy running back who just almost got the edge. I mean, he had one guy to beat. It could have possibly been an easy first down. So great play design there by the Hawklets. And this methodical drive just keeps marching on for Rockers. Up the middle to Lewandowski once again, falling forward for a gain of about 6. And that'll be another first down for Rockers.
Yeah, like I said, that timeout must have worked in their favor. Now they have 4 first downs on this drive coming out of the timeout, so maybe they just needed a little bit of a wake-up call in the moment.
I don't know about you, Austin, but I don't know if you can design an opening drive so far better than how this has gone, minus the penalty, but then they got it right back in one play. So this offense is getting exactly what they need almost every play, a methodical drive, taking a lot of time off the clock because we're now down to the 6:30 mark here in the first quarter.
I was just about to say Rockers has done a really good job here playing the time of possession game, and they could be doing that all game long.
Lewandowski now lined up at fullback for Rockers. Man goes in motion. It's going to be a fake handoff, roll out here for Miller, rolling to the left side, throwing it just behind the intended receiver. Tight coverage there by West, and this defense with possibly one of the first positive plays of this drive for Lee Summit West right there. A great pass deflection by the linebacker.
Yeah, they're going to have to get 2 more stops here to force a field goal. Rockhurst, they do trust their kicking game. However, if they were to kick a field goal, it would be more of a short distance type deal. But I mean, if you're Lee Summit West, if you can hold Rockhurst to 3, it would be a huge victory. Obviously, you don't want to give up any points on the first drive, but if you can at least hold them to 3, it would do you maybe a favor later on, especially when you get the ball on offense.
Lewandowski once again back up the middle. They're just running these inside zones play after play. It's about the 4th time this drive they've done it. And 5 yards once again. I feel like they got to be averaging about 5 to 6 yards on that carry.
Yeah, I would imagine so. And we've talked about the battle up front, and Lee Summit West looked like they were winning some battles up front to start, but ever since they got the run game going, Rockers has really picked up steam.
So now just 6 yards to go here on a big 3rd down. Like you said, trying to hold the Hawklets to a field goal on the successful opening drive for Rockers thus far. 2 receivers to the top of your screen. Fullback comes in motion. It's going to be a handoff to Lewandowski one more time, reaching for the first down, and he's going to be short. It's going to bring up a 4th and short now for Rockers.
Yeah, they stopped him right at the 10.5-yard line, so he's going to be just a half yard short of that first down marker, and I'm not surprised that Rockers is going for it.
Yeah, I mean, this drive, you think a 2-yard carry, every carry they've had has been over 2 yards just about. I like the call, be aggressive here. Possibly see if they go back to Coppinger, the fullback here, that's just 2 yards. Not checked in, though, it doesn't look like. This crowd gets loud, 3 to the right. Once again to Lewandowski up the middle, fighting for it. It's going to be close. I believe he's got it, though.
Yeah, he got all the way up to the 8-yard line, so it'll be enough for Rockhurst first down and also set up first and goal.
Yeah, the first and goal now for Rockhurst. A 3-yard carry on 4th and 2, so just 1 yard more than what he needed. It was close. So as you see, as we're getting closer to the goal line here, that defensive line for West batten down the hatches a little bit. Now they got a tall order here. Only 4 more yards to go on a first and goal. Austin, they got it in them. Send one receiver out all by himself to the left. That's going to be that popular target of Miller, Blake Thomas. Pitch play to Lewandowski, and he's just going to fly into the end zone. Touchdown, Rockers. Cash Lewandowski with a touchdown last week, now a touchdown this week.
Straight cash money. Cash Lewandowski doing it all for the Rockhurst offense. Gets a touchdown there, and, I mean, they took off over half of the first quarter off the clock, and that's a great first drive for the Hawklets offense. And for them to pick up that 4th and 2 to set up first and goal and all that, just a really good first drive here for Rockhurst.
Extra point is up and good for Rockers. And that'll grow your lead. Rockers 7, Lee Summit West nothing. With that, we're going to take a quick break and be right back after some commercials.
Does it roll? Does it swing? Does it have a busted spring? If you call Door Systems, we have everything. That's 524-8535. Ask for me, Dory. That'll get you 10% off, you know. Hey, I'm no ding-dong. Call us. Don't forget the 816, silly. Ask for me, Dory.
Welcome back to Lee Summit West High School. It was a successful drive by the Hawklets, marching about 80 yards down the field and punching it in. Cash Lewandowski to give the Rockers a 7-0 lead early. A methodical drive, a hard-fought drive for Rockers. And they get the lead to show for it. Now we can see what West offense has in store as the kick is off and away. West looks like they will return this one, and they will. Working to the right hash to the 20 and falling down about the 21-yard line, and that is where West will set up shop. Austin, I got to ask you, this West offense, a couple of weeks we've called them, not a lot of points, especially a lot of struggles early. What do they got to do in this first drive, you think, to match Rockers and find some points?
I just think they need to establish a consistent running game right away. I think if you can get the run game going, I think that would that'd really help you to start things off. Speaking of this run game, Cade, you know, they're losing Rollison. They got Goodwin Vaughn's in there. Corey Lewis is still out there tonight for Lee Summit West, but no Merrick Rollison tonight.
3 receivers to the left for Dawson Edwards. Yeah, interesting move at running back. We have not seen a lot of him. Deep shot early over the intended target down the right hash. Trying to get that one to Leaf Byers down the right sideline, the junior, just over his head.
Yeah, Edwards just put a little bit too much air underneath that pass, but, I mean, obviously that's what you want. You don't want to throw it too short, but, I mean, at least on the West, they're trying to, you know, come out with an explosive play right away, especially after that long drive that Rockhurst had.
Yeah, Caden Goodwin Vaughn's taking over the running back job for the Titans with the injury to Rollinson. And they will run it this time. That's going to be with Harris, actually, the receiver, trying to get to the left side. Nowhere to go. Great pursuit angles by Rockers, and he's going to be driven out of bounds for a big loss there on second down.
Yeah, just nowhere to go for Chris Harris. And on the outside, I mean, Rockhurst was right there ready for it. I mean, one of the strengths of this Rockhurst defense, they defend well against the run. Obviously, can't do it every single play, right? But for the most part, they've been pretty good at defending the run. I mean, they went up against a Ray-Pac team that I went and watched them play a couple weeks ago, and their run game's pretty solid. And I mean, they held their running game to under 100 yards.
Two backs in the backfields for West on this 3rd and 18. Drop back. Edwards rolling to his right, launching it downfield. Got a man open, just out of bounds over the intended target. Roderick Sims, possibly a perfect pass, could have fed it in there, but incomplete, and it's going to be a 4th and 18, and that's going to force Lee Summit West to a quick 3-and-out and a punt.
Yeah, just not the start that they wanted offensively, and when you give the ball back to Rockhurst, you got to make sure you get their offense off the field quick, especially after burning almost 6.5 minutes off the clock.
Yeah, we talked about it, coming into this game with that Lee Summit West defense having to be on the field a lot. They just were on the field for almost the entirety of this first quarter. Their offense goes out there, a quick 3-and-out, and the defense is going to have to be called on really quick once again. So a big ask out of the Lee Summit West defense, and they're punting out of their own end zone here. So possible block opportunity, low punt, the bad part of the foot, and it's going to take a friendly West bounce, though, and roll out about the 36-yard line.
Yeah, not the best punt right there by the punter, Aiden Ouch. Rockhurst going to have excellent field position to start their next drive. Again, they took 6.5 minutes off the clock in their first drive. They got the ball first. And now, they got a chance to burn more time off the clock and drive down 36 yards, 35 yards, it looks like, to go get a touchdown. But you got excellent field position, and you're on Lee Summit West side of the field already.
Yeah, absolutely. Rockhurst just scored not even what it feels like 5 minutes ago in real-life time here, and then they're right back at it with great field position. We're about the 35-yard line for Rockhurst to start this drive. And, I think about how well on that opening drive Lewandowski ran the ball. I would be surprised to see anything other than just feeding him the ball here, taking a little bit more time off of the clock, and then possibly ending this one in another touchdown for Rockhurst. But this defense for West, I'd like to see them stifle that run, force Rockhurst to throw the football. Miller takes it, hands it off to Lewandowski. Lewandowski bounces to his left, gets to the left hash, and an all-out pursuit by that West defense, and they stifle him behind the line of scrimmage for one of the first times this game.
Yeah, just nowhere to go for Lewandowski on the outside. And, Lee Summit West, they've been bringing pressure, to start this game off. However, it's just a matter of the time and possession. When you have the ball for so long, obviously it'll get to you. But this Lee Summit West defense, they didn't really have a whole lot of time on the sideline to kind of catch their breath. So it'll be interesting to see if maybe they can find a way to stifle this run game for Rockhurst.
Yeah, good to see West with that kind of pursuit after a long drive, already back out here making big plays. So they're going to need it. Motion, pitch play, faked out, roll out. Miller to the right, looking downfield, got a man wide open. Similar play to earlier and dropped. Had him open, unable to haul that one in. It's going to be incomplete and bring up a 3rd and 13 now. Yeah,
that ball was just placed right directly into his chest, just in and out of the hands. Just an unlucky play there.
Tristan Johnson, the intended receiver there for Rockers, unable to haul that one in. We go back to that play they got 20 yards on. It was to Tristan Johnson as well. And that looked like the same play design. You fake the handoff, you bootleg to the right for Miller. He's got him open once again. So see how West adjusted that, because I feel like they're going to go back to that to Johnson if he's getting that open that consistently. Just unable to haul that one in. So a big 3rd and 13. Lee Summit West defense trying to make their first stop of this game. Fullback lined up to the right of Miller. Miller's going to roll out that way. Good blocking. A lot of time looking downfield, getting chased down, throws it. Intercepted! Lee Summit West, he sneaks in there and grabs it quickly out of bounds, and the Titans offense will take over at the 40-yard line.
Yeah, costly turnover there for Rockhurst, and coming up to make the play was the senior safety, Jonathan Panto, making the play. Lee Summit West desperately needed something, and they got a big turnover right there. And in games like this, especially going up against the 5th-ranked team in the Kansas City metro area, and getting a turnover, in the first moments of the game, obviously very huge for you if you want to try and pull off a big upset win at home.
Yeah, the momentum shifts, especially on a play like that. Jonathan Panto, one of those leaders for this West defense. He's made plays all year, and that's the same thing we got there out of Panto, lurking in the back, sneaking up, and then just jumping right on that one and taking it away from Miller. So Lee Summit West now with a new set of downs and a new opportunity after the 3-and-out on their opening series. 3 receivers to the right at the bottom of your screen here. It's going to be a handoff. Fumbled! Jumping forward. I think Dawson Edwards was able to jump back on that. Not a clean handoff. Yes, Dawson Edwards able to jump on his own fumble there. A little miscommunication. We talked about it. You changed the running back. You got something going. Rollins out. You got a new running back in there. And just little things like that. The timing's off.
Yeah, obviously it could have been a disaster right there. Getting an interception and turning the ball over on the next play would have absolutely shifted the momentum, fully into Rockhurst's favor.
So 2nd and 10. They didn't lose any yards on the fumble. It's going to be a jet sweep here to Harris. Working it, nowhere to go, and he's going to lose more yards once again. Similar play, similar result to what we just saw a drive ago.
Yeah, I mean, they ran it to the far side, and now here on the near side, Rockhurst was also ready for it too. I mean, this defense flies around on both sides of the field, so it obviously, like I said earlier, they do a really good job of stifling the run game no matter who they're going up against.
Thanks for joining us here on Sports Radio 810 Varsity. We are just nearing the end of the first quarter. Rockhurst leads 7-0, and a big 3rd and 16 now for West. They had 3rd and 18 a drive ago. 3rd and 16 this drive. Receiver comes in motion, bunch to the left of Edwards. A lot of pressure. Edwards rolls out right, buys himself time, launches it downfield. He's got a man open. It's going to be caught by Harris. Makes one man miss, working back to the left side of the field, stumbling and falling forward near the first down marker. We'll see where they mark him.
Wow, what a play by Harris, not only making the catch, but also finding a way to pick up that first down on a 3rd and long situation after those first 2 plays. You almost give the ball away after getting that big interception, and then just nowhere to go for Harris, on the outside on that end around, and for him to bounce back after that, coming up with that big catch in the first down. Obviously huge.
The
for this second drive of the game for
gave them
West.
momentum. Then you almost turn it over downs, but you get the big 3rd down. The momentum is palpable here on this west sideline. Edwards is going to hand this one off, working to the left side. He's got a lane, but met quickly by a linebacker and driven out of bounds. As he might have not went out of bounds on the initial tackle there, but shoved out of bounds for about a loss of 2.
Yeah, Declan Sullivan and Pierce Fisher right there on the tackle. Like we talked about, you're going to see a lot of Rockhurst players playing both ways tonight. So it'll be interesting to see how many more guys on this Rockhurst offense can come up with some plays defensively.
Sullivan being the tight end for Rockhurst, also the defensive end for them. 6'6". He's an athlete. 3 receivers to the right of Edwards. Receiver in motion. They will hand it to him, but he's going to roll out right. Possibly a throw here. He's looking downfield, and he's going to throw that one, and almost intercepted. He might have got away with one there. A risky pass. Rockhurst almost took a huge momentum shift.
Well, that was an interesting play design there. You got both quarterbacks in the game, both Dawson Edwards and Noah Herrera. You saw Herrera making that throw, and he came into the game at the end against Liberty North and had that long touchdown pass.
And just through the hands of, how about this name, Cruz Lewandowski, the freshman, almost with a massive interception there on Dawson Edwards. There's an interesting play design, like he said. They handed it off to the backup quarterback, and then he's rolling out right, looking downfield. So another 3rd down here by West. Edwards drops back, feels the pressure, steps up, looking downfield, pitches it, and I think it's caught, and it is. A little bit behind the receiver, one hand out, and he snags it and brings it in. Leaf Byers with his 2nd catch of the night, another big one. Almost a Mahomes play there. Edwards kind of just pitching it forward to him. A little bit off target.
A little bit of a sidewinder pass, too. I mean, Dawson, it looked like he was going to lob one to the near side, but found Byers over the middle, all alone by himself, no coverage on him whatsoever, and got another big first down here on the second drive.
Sims in the far slot. Edwards fakes the handoff. There's going to be a screen play to Harris on that sideline, and he's going to be wrapped up and thrown out of bounds quickly for a gain of about 3 on first down. Should make it 2nd and 7 now for Lee Summit West. So positive yards on first down. I like it.
Well, we're almost towards the end of the first quarter already. I feel like this first quarter has gone by really, really fast. But for Lee Summit West to do what they're doing so far here on this second drive, drastically a lot better than what we saw in that first drive.
Yeah, and if you're West here, if you can finish this drive with a touchdown into the first quarter, early second quarter, tied game, I like it. It's a good start for West compared to some of their games. Sims comes in motion. Will go behind Edwards. Edwards will hand it up the middle, working upfield, falling forward for the first down and then some extra. So West with a lot of misdirection in the backfield, and it's paying off big on this drive.
Yeah, at least some at West, they're also winning the battle up front. I've talked about that a little bit already, but really impressive showing from this front line for Lee Summit West, being able to open all those holes for the run game and and they've had a consistent running game so far here on this second drive as we end the first quarter.
Yeah, and at the end of that first quarter, we're going to take a quick break and be right back here with second quarter action on 810varsity.com. Thanks for tuning in, folks.
My name is Bree McNally. I am actually a server downtown at Grunauer. Our 15-year-old son was in an automobile accident and he was taken by ambulance to Children's Mercy Hospital. So when I called Eric, he just, was upfront about everything, let me know what the process would be. So Eric was easy to communicate with. I could Facebook Messenger him, call the office, text him, and he was always super responsive and handled everything in a timely manner.
Welcome back into Lee Summit West High School here on 810varsity.com. 1st and 10 now for Lee Summit West. Their most successful drive. It's going to be a wildcat play with receiver Harris making one-man miss to the right sideline and then shoved out of bounds after, I believe, he picks up the first down. Chris Harris, the gadget player for West tonight. We've seen him line up at running back. We've seen him line up at receiver. How about lining up at quarterback?
I mean, he could do it all, can he? I mean, he's been showing that so far. But, I mean, Chris Harris, I mean, he's the guy to go to for Lee Summit West offensively. I mean, and like you say, he can catch the ball, he can run the ball, and he can even line up at quarterback if you need him to. So,
yeah, Chris Harris, I mean, he's just got speed to burn, and he showed it on that. It's going to be 2nd and 1, but the first down, picking up 9 there. Harris and the Wildcat, they're going to go back to 2 running backs in the backfield. For Edwards in the shotgun, he's going to hand this one off. Once again, they're going to get the first down and then a little bit more. Harris with another carry, and it's going to be a first down for the Titans.
Yeah, picking up another first down. I believe this is the 4th or 5th first down that they've picked up on this drive. I mean, something clicked for them after that first drive, and now they're approaching the red zone here. They're just a yard outside the red zone. But
I think that Panto interception just gave this offense the momentum they needed.
Absolutely.
To tie this game up, playing the number 5 team in the Metro Rockers. West with a delayed handoff. This time Rawlinson up the middle, fighting for yards, fighting for then even more. A gain of 5 on first down for the Titans. This offense seemingly rolling.
Yeah, Merrick Rollison out there at running back. When we got the starters for tonight's game, we didn't see Rollison on the sheet, but he's out there and he's carrying the rock.
One more time, touchdown! Rollison, we're just talking about him, right up the middle, and he's walking into the end zone. Great blocking up front by that Titans offensive line.
Just a really great orchestrated drive by this Lee Summit West offense, and they've been struggling to put up points at home so far, but now they got a touchdown here in the first half, and with 10:38 to go here in the first half, I mean they're in a great spot right now. But if you can get another stop and do what you did on this same drive going in the next drive, we could be talking about a pretty good ball game here between these two. And it's good so far.
With the extra point, and it is up, and it is good by a mile. Great kick there. We haven't seen a lot of that from him so far this year. I like it. The momentum is flowing for this Titans. We'll leave it here. Austin, what did you see on that drive that was working so well for the Titans? We've seen this offense struggle at home all year long, only really getting about 7 points the whole first half in both their games, but now here early second quarter action, and it's 7-7.
Yeah, the run game, I mean, I said it to start, if you can establish a consistent running game, even though this Rockhurst defense, they defend well against the run, and it's created, opportunities for West to push the ball more down the field. And I mean, Chris Harris, though, I mean, how about him? I mean, he was the star of the drive, really, for Lee Summit West. Bouncing back after, losing a couple of yards on that end around we saw early on. And, and then he got that big first down off of 3rd and 16 with that big catch and was able to work his way around like 5 defenders in the middle of the field. So, I mean, for him to pick up that first down was really huge. But then I think after that, that first down really gave this offense some confidence. And like you said, with the interception by Jonathan Panto, that also ignited a fire underneath him.
Absolutely. I think Rockhurst is feeling it here. The sideline's feeling it. The cheerleaders are getting into it as West has life in this big game here at home, trying to defend their home turf against Rockhurst. Now 7-7, but here comes the Rockhurst offense after this kickoff. We'll see what Rockhurst has and if they can answer right back with a quick score. The kick is off and away. It's going to be an onside kick, and West is going to fall on it and get it.
Wow!
West football.
Wow! They're pulling out the bag of tricks here tonight, and obviously when you got a high-ranked team, coming into your house, sometimes you gotta pull the bag of tricks out. And early onside kick, man, what a gutsy call.
Rockhurst is stunned as they are communicating with the officials. I think they are upset with the call and how far that one went forward before it was recovered by Lee Summit West. Definitely interesting about when he touched it and if there was an illegal touching on the onside kick, but the officials will mark it Lee Summit West ball. A drive ago, they found the end zone. They tied the game up, and they get the ball right back after the onside kick. We'll see what Lee Summit West has in store for us, as Rockhurst will not get a chance to answer right back.
Yeah, keeping the Rockhurst offense off the field, that's a huge win for Lee Summit West. And, boy, this turned into an interesting game. You got that interception. That's what really started, this momentum build up for Lee Summit West. That big first down. I mentioned it earlier from Chris Harris on that previous drive. And now they get the ball right back.
Up the middle, there's Goodwin Vaughns, who's going to have nowhere to go. Met at the line of scrimmage and driven backwards. It's going to be Henry Coppinger, the fullback / linebacker for Rockhurst. The player's slow to get up for Rockhurst.
Yeah, you see Sullivan there coming up with another big tackle for a loss of maybe a yard or two. If not, he got back up to the line of scrimmage. But, the run game was working very well for West in their previous drive. They might try and switch it up a little bit because Rockhurst kind of knows what West is trying to do. Obviously, you want to get Dawson Edwards, a couple of passes here and there. But, they've been dependent on their running game so far.
2 receivers to the right, 2 to the left here for Edwards. Good snap. He's going to keep it himself on the quarterback keeper and get tripped up instantly. Nowhere to go. It's going to be Cash Lewandowski with the tackle on Edwards.
Yeah, Cash Lewandowski. We've been talking about him a little bit tonight. One of the guys, one of the 7 to 8 guys that you mentioned that are playing on both ends of the ball for Rockhurst. And, yeah, it's difficult to play both ends of the ball. I just can't imagine, lining up, on the edge, trying to make some tackles and then going right back out there and carrying the rock.
A big 3rd and 9 here for the Titans. Edwards lined up and the single back dropping back. It's going to be a screen play. He gets it out to his intended receiver, makes one man miss, getting around his blocks and falling forward for another Titans first down.
A really nice screen play there, and some holes opened up on the outside, and it barely got to the first down marker, but another big first down for this Lee Summit West offense. They're in a rhythm right now.
Going back to my defensive line days, on a screen play, sometimes you can pick it up if it's just too easy. And if you're that Rockhurst D-line, you got to realize that was just a little bit too easy. They got too far upfield, left the screen wide open, and Ben Wooden, we haven't seen his number a lot this year, but that's a guy that was a nice slot receiver for the Titans a year ago and a good screen catch there. Interesting formation here for Titans. They're going to move everything to the left side of the field, trying to catch Rockhurst off guard. It's going to be a quarterback power up the middle, and a 4th and 1 is good with room to gain by Edwards. How do you like that?
That's great right there. You giving the ball to your quarterback and letting him pick up the actually it's their first 4th down conversion. You saw Rockhurst on that first drive. They converted a first down off a 4th down, and so both teams are 1-1 tonight on 4th down conversions. I initially thought they had already picked up the first down, but
that looks like a play right out of the Buffalo Bills playbook. Some of those stuff that those design runs with Josh Allen, those power plays up the middle.
Yeah.
When you got a Dawson Edwards, 6'5", 225-pound senior, it's a nice luxury.
Absolutely.
3 receivers to the left now for Dawson Edwards, running back. Going to hand it off to running back working to the right side, trying to find anywhere to go, but the pursuit by Rockhurst has been good all game, fighting for every yard, as Goodwin Vons is going to pick up more than he probably should have.
Well, Vonzi got 2 or 3 yards. He could have easily lost maybe 4 or 5, but good for him to not only get past the line of scrimmage, but find a way to get a couple of yards. And he was very patient with that run too. But I think maybe just a little too patient. You saw the holes there kind of close in, right away as soon as he was starting to get patient and try to find an opening.
Yeah, Austin, I was literally about to say a patient run. It's exactly how you want to describe that one. Trying to wait for those blocks to set up a little bit, but just nowhere to go. Fighting for a gain of 2. Now 2nd and 8. Edwards is going to take bootleg left, looking downfield, feeling the pressure, working upfield. He's going to throw it, and just over the head of a wide open Roderick Sims. Could have been a big play, but just offline pass there by Dawson Edwards.
Yeah, just too much height on that pass from Edwards. And now you got 3rd and 8 coming up. Big 3rd down here for Lee Summit West, because if you don't get this 3rd down here, do you try and go for it again, or maybe do you bring out the kicking unit to try and get you the lead here with just over
the extra point had a lot of extra distance on it. I like the kicker, how he was looking on that extra point. Maybe a long field goal, but also pinning this explosive Rockers offense might not be a bad idea either. But 3rd and 8, still a chance to get the first down. They're going to go 2 backs in the backfield for West. A blitz coming by Rockers. Edwards steps up through the pressure, through the blitz, looking downfield, lobs it, underthrown and intercepted. Rockers with a pick. He had a man wide open, and Dawson Edwards underthrows it. A massive turnover, and Rockers is going to take over at the 3-yard line.
Yeah, just a underthrown pass by Edwards, and Rockhurst, they needed something to go their way, especially after what Lee Summit West did on their 2nd drive and then recovering that onside kick. And now they get a big interception. Now they got to get outside. They got to get out of their own end zone, though. Not great field position to start their 2nd drive of the game, and we're almost halfway through here through the 2nd quarter. So it's going to be important for Rockers to get something going. Otherwise, they may not see the field again here in the first half.
Rockers came out. They threw a quick jab, got on the board. Lee Summit West came back with a right hook, tied it up, an uppercut on the onside kick. And now what will Rockers respond with? 7-7 here, 7:43 to go in the 2nd quarter. An underthrown pass by Dawson Edwards, intercepted by Rockers. It was a 3rd and 8, possible questionable field goal range for the Titans. I'm not sure they would have had points there. It would have been a 4th and 8 if it wasn't picked off. But Rockers has got 97 yards to go if they want a touchdown. And they're going to hand this one up the middle to Lewandowski, fighting for a gain of 2. It's going to bring up 2nd and 8.
I mean, they got to kind of rely on their run game here to try and get out of their own end zone. But maybe if you can get a big pass play, it'll ease kind of the pressure on you. But it'd be interesting to see what Rockhurst does here on these next couple of plays. I mean, their offense has been off the field, for quite a while. So.
Yeah, the offense has been off the field, but about half those guys on the offense have been on the field for the last 2 drives.
That's right.
Playing defense, that is, as many guys
right.
Playing both sides of the football. Miller hands it off one more time to Lewandowski. This time met in the backfield. Great up front block shedding there by that Titans defensive line as they're going to stifle the run, the line of scrimmage. And a 3rd and 8 now for Rockers.
Well, just the battle up front. I mean, Lee Summit West has been dominating that so far. And, when you look at the size for both front lines defensively and offensively, I mean, Rockhurst, they've got more size and maybe more strength. But Lee Summit West, though, they don't care about that. And they've been winning that battle in the trenches on both ends of the ball, at least so far here in the first half.
Yeah, Rockers, a lot of their games have been blowouts. They've had their way with most of their opponents in this season, early on 3-0 for Rockers, that is. The Titans might have underlooked this team. Might have came in here thinking, 1-2 Titans, haven't won a home game, and now they're having to play a good pass there by Miller. It's going to be zipped near the line to gain. And, yes, first down, a big first down, a 3rd and 8 on their own 5-yard line, and Rockers is able to convert.
Yeah, a much-needed 3rd down conversion right there, right? I mean, if you don't pick that up, you're going to have to bring the punt team out, and punting out of your own end zone, obviously very dangerous. But for them to get, 10-plus yards out of their own end zone, obviously huge. And we'll see if maybe they can try and drive the ball down the field and maybe take some more time off the clock.
Kind of surprised me there. Lee Summit West sitting no pressure, dropped a lot back in coverage. He had all day, Miller, that is the quarterback for Rockers, to get that one out, and he found the open target, able to move the chains. And now one of our first timeouts, the second one actually by Rockers. Lee Summit West still with 3. With that timeout, we're going to take a quick timeout with them here at 810varsity.com. We'll be right back after this message from our sponsors. Welcome back to Titan Stadium in this 7-7 battle between Lee Summit West and the Rockers Hawklets. A big 3rd and 8 conversion brings a 1st and 10 now. A long ways to go for Rockers. A hard play action. Miller rolling out right, a lot of time trying to find anyone, and is just going to throw that one to the sideline, intercepted by the coach for Lee Summit West.
Yeah, just nowhere to go for Miller, though. He couldn't find an open receiver downfield, and West bringing the pressure. I mean, they're still bringing pressure up front. I mean, talking about the battle up front, I mean, West has been dominant so far.
Yeah, and it's interesting you say that, Austin. You kind of think back to those first 3 games for the Titans, and you would not say that they've won the battle in the trenches. I don't know if they're winning the battle in these trenches, but it's a dogfight, and they're both having their punches.
Yep.
And each team is kind of landing one back-to-back, as this game is almost like a rough game of tug-of-war, fighting for any yards they can get. 2nd and 10 now for the Rockers. It's going to be a speed option. He's going to have to keep it Miller as they were conservative. Watch the running back. They ran that speed option earlier, and Miller pitched it. This time, they were conservative. Watch the running back. Force the quarterback to make a play. Only picks up about 3 yards. 3rd and 7 now.
Yeah, Miller's not much of a runner as a quarterback, but, I mean, he can get it done with his legs for sure. But other than that, though, you obviously want to trust Lewandowski and those guys to carry the rock for you. But another 3rd down coming up here for Rockhurst, and here with 5 minutes to go. It's another big 3rd down conversion that they're going to have to get.
Just around now 5-minute mark here in the 2nd quarter. 2 receivers to the right for Miller. He's going to bring one in motion. He's going to fake the jet sweep, throw it. He's got an open target. It's going to be caught at the 20, to the 30, to the 35, 40, 50. Tripped up, keeps his footing, 40, 30. Cash Lewandowski down at the opposite side, 30-yard line. A massive pickup there on 3rd and 7 for the Hawklets, and they're in business.
Another big 3rd down conversion there, and you want to give the ball to your best player on offense, Cash Lewandowski. A big 1st down for this Hawklet offense, and after being off of the field for too long, they definitely needed a play like that to really get it going for them offensively, and they've got their rhythm back for sure.
I'm going to nickname Cash Lewandowski Mr. Momentum. It seems like every time they need a big play, Mr. Momentum comes up and makes it for him. Lewandowski on defense and on offense, keeping this Rockers offense alive here. 2 times on 3rd down now. The Rockers able to pick it up. A nice jumbo set here. They're going to do a fullback dive, but nowhere to go. But he bounces it outside and picks up 5. It looked like Coppinger was stifled at the line of scrimmage, kind of ran into the line of his right guard there, Reese Fisher, but then bounced it and able to pick up some positive yards.
Yeah, obviously, when you get stifled at the line of scrimmage and you find a way to get some extra yards after that, obviously, it's not something to overlook for sure. You may not have gotten the 1st down; it may just be a few yards, but to get stifled at the line of scrimmage and then fight your way for an extra few yards, obviously, you got to feel good after that.
And that's the aspect that Coppinger, the fullback, brings for this Rockers. Some of those hard-fought yards. A pitch play almost blown up, but nowhere to go. All kinds of space, and picking up the 1st down. That one was almost dead in the water as Miller was barely able to get that pitch off. And then a lot of positive yards there for Rockers.
Yeah, 3rd and short now. I thought he was right at that 1st down marker. I thought it was going to be close, but it's going to be 3rd and short here. I mean, do they go back to the fullback dive play that we saw in their first drive of the game? It was another 3rd and 1 situation. If not, I think it was that 4th down conversion that they actually went to.
I like a fullback dive here once again. They picked up 4 in it a minute ago. I think they'll pick up 2. Going back to that last run, it was Ben Hayes checked in, able to kick the pitch from Miller. Got the edge, needed to make one guy miss, and he could have been off to the races, but kind of tripped up there. A big open field tackle by West, preventing the touchdown. Now 3rd and 1, and we'll see what kind of formation they come out here. They do line up with Lewandowski, it looks like, at fullback for Rockers. We'll see who he gives it to, and he's going to go right to Lewandowski, who's going to jump over the line of scrimmage, falling forward for a gain of a 10. Cash Lewandowski one more time.
Mr. Momentum picking up another big 1st down on 3rd and short, and not only that, but he hurled over the line of scrimmage because there were just a bunch of linemen just laying down on the field, and he hurled all over him and was able to pick up a 1st down and more.
When you watch football, there's just some guys on the field that just stand out from others. Just a true athlete, just making the plays. Like you said, not a lot of guys are going to get the ball there and have the wherewithal to instantly just jump as high as they can to get over that line of scrimmage. And then, like you said, fighting and falling forward for extra yards. Now the Titans are going to take their first time out here on a 1st and 10. When we come back for Rockers, we'll be right back after this word from our sponsors.
Welcome to Baker University, nestled in the heart of small-town Baldwin City. Our small class sizes means that you'll never get lost in the crowd, and your professors are always within reach. Baker University is more than just a place to earn your degree. We are a community of learners, performers, innovators, entrepreneurs, and competitors from around the world. Baker University empowers students to achieve their full potential in a diverse and ever-changing world. Visit bakeru.edu to get started.
Welcome back to Titan Football Field here on 810varsity.com. It's been a close game with only 2 minutes here to go in the second quarter. 2 minutes till halftime. It's 7-7, all tied up. But Rockers with an opportunity to score. What do you like here? What do you think Rockers does to take the lead?
I think they give the ball back to Mr. Momentum and let him find his way into the end zone once again. But I think they stick with the run game, especially, here in short yardage situations.
And there it is, Lewandowski working up the middle, runs through 2 guys, and walks into the end zone. Cash Lewandowski. You got to be kidding me.
I mean, he bulldozed off of not 1 but 2 defenders, it looked like, from my angle at least, and went into the end zone, standing up still.
Cash Lewandowski looked like he was only going to gain, what do you think, Austin, 4 or 5 yards, and then just bulldozes through 2 Lee Summit West defenders. The low man wins, and he got lower on that truck than either one of those defenders, and he drove through them and walked into the end zone. The extra point is up and good. That'll extend this Rockers lead now up to 14-7. Hocklets over Titans. We're going to take a quick break and be right back here on 810varsity.com.
Does it roll? Does it swing? Does it have a busted spring? If you call Door Systems, we have everything. That's 524-8535. Ask for me, Dory. That'll get you 10% off, Hey, I'm no ding-dong. Call us. Don't forget the 816, silly. Ask for me, Dory.
Welcome back to Lee Summit West High School. Rockers now on top, 14-7 after the Cash Lewandowski run. He's stumbling, bumbling into the end zone for Rockers, putting them on top. Now just 2 minutes and 7 seconds to go before halftime. How aggressive is Lee Summit West here?
Well, I would imagine they're going to have to be pretty aggressive. Not much time left on the clock here in the first half, but I got to go back to that drive that Rockhurst had. 97-yard drive for the Hocklets. Not only that, but look, Cash Lewandowski, I swear he ran for maybe 70-plus yards on that drive. I mean, he was the driving force of that drive for Rockhurst, and now they're up by a touchdown once again.
Squib kick here handled by the Titans. Finds a lane on the far right side. Hash still dancing on the sideline. Cuts back at the 40. Still on his feet. And then finally met at the 44-yard line. Falling forward to the 45.
That's a good return right there. Obviously, you want good field position here with limited time left on the clock here in the first half.
And 31-yard return there.
Yeah, I mean, you got all the way up to your own 45-yard line. It's pretty good. So you only got to drive down the field 55 yards to maybe try and tie it up here at 14 apiece going into the half.
So now 1st and 10 for Lee Summit West. They did the onside kick earlier after they tied the game up.
Right.
They had the momentum, similar about give or take 5 or 10 yards to your starting position for West, and they went 3 and out. This drive, they got to get it going if they want to stay in this game. Rockers just showed they can score all night long. Can the Titans answer?
And we'll see if Edwards can bounce back after that interception he threw on the previous drive.
Handoff. Edwards keeps it on the quarterback draw. Option play falling forward after a gain of 7. Dawson Edwards using his legs once again in this game. We've seen him on a design quarterback keeper. That time looked like an option play. Positive yards, though.
I would like to see Lee Summit West give the ball to Edwards maybe more and more in the run game, but
Hurry up
6
here
yards.
For the Titans. Edwards takes the snap, hands it off up the middle. This time Rockhurst all over that run. He's going to be brought down in the backfield after a loss of 1 yard. Nowhere to go.
Yeah, nowhere to go for Corey Lillis, and only a couple of yards maybe. He might have gotten just 1 yard there.
Back up to it.
Third
and four now for the Titans. Edwards looking to the sideline, trying to make adjustments, and then a timeout, I believe. Rockers of all. I figured that was going to go to Lee Summit West. But a timeout here with just 1 minute, 9 seconds to go. A big 3rd and 4 for the Titans if they're trying to tie this game up before halftime. We're going to leave it here. Austin, we were trying to talk about it a little bit before the kickoff, but that kickoff got kind of interesting. For West, it's a big 3rd down. They're down by 7. What do you do here to try to tie this game up?
Well, Lee Summit West, they got 2 timeouts left now, so Rockhurst only has 1. Interesting why Rockhurst decided to call timeout here with the final moments here in this first half, but if you're Lee Summit West, I mean, maybe go play action here on 3rd and 4. You saw the previous play. Corey Lillis just couldn't find an opening and only got maybe a yard or 2, but I would expect maybe Edwards to try and get one down the field and hopefully, at least put the Titans in field goal range. They got to come up with some points here before the half if they want to feel good going into the second half.
So 3rd and 4 for the Titans. A little bit of swag surf going on during that timeout, getting the crowd into it on a big 3rd down. 2 receivers to the left, 2 to the right here for Edwards. Edwards takes the snap, drops back, throws it quick, got Harris open, caught, and falling forward after a gain of about 15 yards. His popular target, Chris Harris, once again.
Chris Harris has done it all for this Lee Summit West offense tonight and comes up with another big 3rd down conversion.
Hurry up. 2 receivers one more time. Edwards looking to his left. A lot of time in the pocket, rolling out right, telling his man to run upfield, launches it downfield and over the head of his intended receiver, I believe, is Roderick Sims on the far sideline.
Yeah, Edwards tried to get Sims to go down the field a little bit more, and he lobbed one up, but just too much height underneath that pass, and now that stops the clock here with about 52 seconds to go.
I go back to those 2 losses West had at home. A lot of times Edwards not a lot of time in the pocket. Takes the snap, under pressure, just trying to find anywhere to go with the football. He's had a lot more time in this game, so hats off to the West offense thus far. Facing now a 2nd and 10 as we are just under 1 minute to go. 3 receivers to the right, screen play it looks like. He's got his man open in the slot, cutting a slant right, caught in the middle of the field, falling forward for another gain of 12. It's going to be Leaf Byers, but a flag is down in the backfield. Possible holding. I just gave a compliment to the West offensive line. Did I jinx it?
Well, you saw right there after the play, it looked like Brock Barrows, the left tackle, just throwing his hands up, wondering what the call was. I don't know if it's on him or what, but a holding call after a play like that obviously can hurt you.
Yeah, I mean, all the momentum in the world there for the Titans. About just exactly 46 seconds to go here in the second quarter. 14-7 Rockers. And that's going to go against the Titans. We called it. There's the penalty. Backing them up, taking away a gain of what would have been 13 yards.
I mean, that takes away the big Chris Harris play that we saw moments ago. He got a gain of 15 on 3rd and 7, so now they're back to the Rockhurst 49-yard line, it looks like.
2nd and 25. So you think 40 seconds to go. The clock is running. If you're the Titans here, maybe you just take a couple shots at the end zone, take some deep passes, try to get Chris Harris one-on-one. Edwards shows off the arm. Trick play here. Fake jet sweep back to the other way on a misdirection. A lot of space to go. Working at field. Runs into his own man on a block and falls down after a gain of around 11.
Yeah, really good play right there and gets you closer to that 1st down marker. Obviously, they needed something after getting that penalty, but we'll have a timeout on the field.
Yeah, they're going to take a timeout here. 22 seconds to go. A 3rd and 15 for Lee Summit West when we come back from this quick break.
Does it roll? Does it swing? Does it have a busted spring? If you call Door Systems, we have everything. That's 524-8535. Ask for me, Dory. That'll get you 10% off, Hey, I'm no ding-dong. Call us. Don't forget the 816, silly. Ask for me, Dory.
Welcome back to Lee Summit West. The Titans facing a 3rd and 15. 22 seconds to go until halftime. It's been a good half for this West offense, finding points, it's just been back and forth really between these teams. I know only 7 points and said it's been a good half, but they have been a lot more productive. They had cleaned up on the penalties, but a big penalty there pushed them back. They would have been on the 30-yard line already, trying to get back to where they're at. 3rd and 15, drop back Edwards, under pressure, makes the first man miss, looks upfield, launches it, got a man open and intercepted behind the intended target. Running back for Rockers at the 50, cuts back, and then drugged down at the 40-yard line. A big play there. Blake Thomas, the corner, the junior with the interception. Dawson Edwards trying to get the first down and turns it over.
Yeah, that's his second interception that he's thrown tonight. Blake Thomas, one of the guys that, we've talked about Rockhurst. They got a bunch of guys playing on both ends of the ball, and he gets a big interception here before the end of the first half, and Rockhurst is going to go into the half with the lead. They wasted a lot of time off the clock in the first quarter, and then Lee Summit West had the ball quite a bit, got that onside kick, and then now, they get the touchdown, get a stop here, and 2 interceptions. So the momentum has definitely flipped.
So Rockers 1st and 10 on the Titans' 43-yard line. Only 8.9 seconds to go here before halftime. It'll be interesting to see if they just take a knee, maybe take a shot to the end zone. We just saw taking shots downfield late in games gets you in a little bit of trouble there. That was almost a pick 6 by Rockers.
Yeah, when I called their game against Ray Pack, they had a 95-yard interception return to end the game. So if they were able to take it back, they absolutely would have.
2 receivers, top of your screen there for Garrett Miller. He'll take the snap. Look downfield. Looked like he wanted a screen early, but it was blown up, and he's just going to toss this one out of bounds and incomplete. They wanted the screen. Great play there by that West defense to read it.
Yeah, I'm not sure if we're going to see maybe a Hail Mary attempt or maybe just take a knee going into the half, but, why not try to throw one up into the end zone and maybe get yourself another touchdown?
Yeah, I think on that 1st and 10, you go to the screen play there. They're trying to pick up maybe 5-10 yards, try a field goal, try to see if you can hit one through and go up now 17-7 is what it would make it. But no yards gained on 1st and 10. Now 2nd and 10, 3.9 seconds to go, and I think you're right, Austin. If it isn't a knee here, I feel like you're just taking a shot at the end zone.
What do you have to lose? You're throwing one into the end zone. If he gets intercepted, then so be it.
Tackle. All right, flag right off the start. He's going to launch it downfield. Miller takes a big pop, and that one's going to be short and intercepted. No, in and out of the hands. That was almost a second interception for Jonathan Panto, but in and out of his hands at about the 1-yard line. There was a flag right as the ball got hiked. I don't know if there was an offsides on the defense, maybe a false start. False start offense. Penalties declined, and that will end this half of football. Before we take a break here, Austin, what did you like out of this game on both sides? Things for West, things for Rockers. What are you seeing in this game, and how can West possibly get back into this starting in the second half?
Well, they got to find a way to slow down Cash Lewandowski. He's already got 2 touchdowns tonight. You saw him bulldoze over a defender going into the end zone on that second touchdown. Yeah, he's been doing it all for this Rockhurst offense. However, they found ways to, other than Lewandowski, to push the ball down the field. But Lee Summit West, they've got a groove going offensively. It's just you got to protect the ball better. 2 interceptions, obviously can't have that. But much closer game than maybe what people would expect, especially with the turnover battle. But both teams have held on to the ball for quite a while. Both teams are really playing the time and possession game. So that's been interesting to see so far. So I think if they can find a way to slow down Rockhurst's run game, then this game could be interesting. It still is, but if you don't slow down Lewandowski, though, it could be a long second half for you. So find a way to slow him down and keep the Rockhurst offense off the field.
Yeah, I think you're totally right. Lewandowski has been the heart and soul of this Rockers offense. That drive where they had to go 97 yards and ended it on a touchdown by Lewandowski, he had about a 60-yard reception or 40, 50-yard reception on that drive. So he can do it through the air. He was listed last year as a receiver for them. This year in a senior season playing more of that running back role. He did get carries last year, but definitely more of the starting running back now for the Hawklets. And he's been extremely successful in this game. The Titans, if they do slow him down, it would be interesting to see what Rockers is then forced to do. I talked about it coming into this game in the pregame. Warren Robertson had 2 catches for 103 yards. So big-time plays for the receivers. So if they do stop the run, Rockers can take some shots downfield. We haven't seen a lot of it. Of course, there was one right at the end of the half, and a roughing the passer was, or excuse me, a false start on Rockers, so it didn't matter. But we'll have more when we come back and what we think is going to happen here in this game. It's a lot closer, like you said, than I think most people would anticipate it. But only 14-7 Rockers at halftime, and we'll be back after this halftime break.
This is a red alert. You are advised to put your ears on software
Rockhurst, one located underneath the press box on the west side of Titan Stadium. There's also another on the south.
Welcome to Baker University, nestled in the heart of small-town Baldwin City. Our small class sizes means that you'll never get lost in the crowd, and your professors are always within reach. Baker University is more than just a place to earn your degree. We are a community of learners, performers, innovators, entrepreneurs, and competitors from around the world. Baker University empowers students to achieve their full potential in a diverse and ever-changing world. Visit bakeru.edu to get started.
Welcome back to Lee Summit West High School. 14-7, Rockers leads over the Titans. It was a gutsy first half out of both of these teams. Yards were hard to come by for both offenses. Not a lot of scoring in the first half, only a total of 21 points put up by these teams. Lee Summit West trying to pull off the upset against the number 5 team in the 810 varsity.com rankings of the top 25. West also trying to get back to 500, make them 2-2. They can pull off the win. Rockers, on the other hand, 3-0, trying to improve to 4-0 on this young season. Austin, what did you like out of these teams in the first half, and what does each team need to do if they want to come out with the win?
Well, I mean, both teams, they've had the momentum shifted into their favor. I mean, it's just really been back and forth in terms of momentum, but now for Lee Summit West, you get the ball to start the second half, so your main objective is to try to drive down the field, of course, and go score a touchdown. That's the cliche thing to say, right, in this situation. But really, it is important to come up with some points here on this opening drive here in the second half. I mean, Rockhurst, they held on to the ball for about 6.5 minutes in their first drive. So if Lee Summit West can do that same thing and play the time and possession game like Rockhurst is doing to them, it could be an interesting second half here on hand. But meanwhile, for Rockhurst, they just got to stick to their game plan and maybe go to Mr. Momentum, like you said, like you call him, Cash Lewandowski with 2 touchdowns already. Looking good so far. I mean, it's just really this game is going to come down to 2 things. It's going to come down to the turnover battle. Rockhurst, they're winning the turnover battle right now. They've got 2 interceptions. At least on the West, they got an interception too. But I mean, it's close in terms of that aspect, and then really it's going to come down to who has the ball last. So I think that'll really come down to that once we hit the latter half of this game.
We're all set and ready for kickoff. I think we talk about the Titans' defense making a lot of stops in previous games and sometimes kind of unraveling in the second half and giving up a lot more points. I think for them, they need to really batten down the hatches and stay sharp. They get to start this one on the sideline as hopefully they can watch their offense march down and tie this game up, as the kick will be caught at the 15-yard line and returned by West, trying to bounce to the right. Gets by the initial first 3 tacklers, cuts back to his left. He's got a lot of room to work with, and he's going to get tackled down at around the 37-yard line, but there is a flag down back near the 25, so we'll see what the call is.
Now, this could be coming back on Lee Summit West, maybe a block in the back. Obviously a good return right there, but penalty will set you back a few yards. So, but at Lee Summit West, they're going to have a decent field position to start their first drive of the second half.
Yeah, if this does push them back, it's just kind of the question of, like you said, how far does it push them back, and does it take away the good field position they possibly were flirting with there, as it does look like this will move them back. We'll see the call. Looks like a block in the back on West. You called it, Austin. So there it is. They will move that back. We'll see where they'll start this drive. For me, for the Titans offense, I really liked seeing Rawlinson going. He got the touchdown run a minute ago in the first half. I think it was about a 11 or 12-yard touchdown run, just right up the middle, untouched. I would like to see them get back to the run game. I think if the Titans could establish a run game, that really might help out Edwards finding targets downfield, kind of open some of that secondary stuff up. Already thrown an interception in this game, trying to avoid doing that again. Edwards takes it, throws it quickly, and it's going to be caught for a gain of 2. Let's see, we'll get that out.
Yeah, just a quick pass play by Edwards. I mean, really just building his confidence up after throwing 2 interceptions in that first half. But really for Lee Summit West, their main objective here in the second half, take better care of the football.
2nd and 6. It's going to be a run up the middle. Good run, spinning, running through somebody and falling down after a big run there for the Titans.
Yeah, that's Rollison again with the call, and was able to pick up a first down, a much-needed first down, really to set the tone here for this first drive of the second half of the Titans offense.
Yeah, Rollison once again with a big-time run. Talked about just a second ago having the touchdown for the Titans. See if he can end this one off with his second touchdown. Let's see if he can match Cash Lewandowski with 2 touchdowns on the night from the running backs. 3 receivers to the right at the bottom of your screen here for West. Edwards will take it, quick zip in the slot once again to Harris. He's low pass and hauled in, a gain of 2. very similar play to what we just saw to start the last set of downs.
Yeah, we've seen some quick throws here from Edwards, and going back to what I was saying, really, I think these quick throws are just kind of building his confidence up, and obviously, if you can get a couple quick throws in right away, it can set you up maybe to get one, down the field.
So 2 receivers to the left. They got a tight end lined up on the right. It's going to be a run, bouncing it to the right, but no one blocked. Wide open. Murphy, the defensive end for Rockers, untouched. He might have been the read there, but a DN unblocked, and he just blew that one up behind the line of scrimmage.
There were 3 defenders right there ready to make the tackle. I mean, Rockhurst was ready for that run play, and really for Rockhurst, they had some trouble slowing down the run game here from Lee Summit West, but if they can find a way to slow it down here in the second half, it'll of course help them out later on.
So 3rd and 8, a big third down here in the first series for this Titans offense. Just under 10 minutes to go. Harris goes in motion late up the field, might have him wide open. Edwards throwing it to him and caught by Harris, tackled down near the 33-yard line. He snuck out. He kind of ran an out and up route, and he hit him on the money. Great pass there by Dawson Edwards. But there is a flag down way back at the 45-yard line.
Yeah, this could be coming back on Lee Summit West. We talked about it before kickoff, partner. The penalties really hurt Lee Summit West on both sides of the ball in their loss last week against Liberty North. And, Chris Harris has been making some big plays left and right all game long so far. And obviously that's going to hurt the offense here. And now it's going to set up third and long here, 3rd and 17.
Yeah, a massive penalty. You're talking about that would have been Lee Summit West, their biggest play of the game. And to take that away on a play like that, that's brutal. So, possibly the holding is the only reason he got the ball out. That could have been, but you never really know. Third and 18 now. Third down. I think it's a lot tougher after that penalty. 2 in the backfield for Edwards. They'll take the snap, drop back. A lot of time. Launches downfield into double coverage and off the hands. None of the DBs found the ball. The only person that had a chance at it was Titans, but off the hands of Harris. He just had a big play a second ago, this time off his hands, but it might have not accounted anyways, as once again, Austin got another flag down.
Well, this is interesting. If it's on Rockhurst here, the flag's all the way back actually at the 11-yard line, so this could be roughing the passer, I would imagine.
What a penalty that would be if that is the call. This will go against the Titans again.
Looks like penalties on both teams.
Offsetting penalties. I see one of the fans near, if you're hearing that on our feedback, not happy about that call for the Titans, but it was an incomplete pass. Would have been 4th and 18 anyway, so offsetting penalties. It looks like we might get to do third down for the 3rd time.
Yeah, they're just trying to explain the situation here with the offsetting penalties. And right now it appears to be 4th down and 18, so I don't know if we're going to see another 3rd down here.
Oh, and unsportsmanlike conduct, so yeah, it will be 4th down.
Oh, wow. So you got offsetting penalties, and then you have an unsportsmanlike penalty on top of it. Obviously not something that you want.
No. So the offsettings, and then on top of all that, unsportsmanlike. So maybe getting a little chippy out there in this close game. Obviously, Rockers, I think, might have thought they were going to come in here and steamroll West. Just going off of box scores from previous games. High snap handled by the punter. Gets it off. It's a high spiraling punt. Fielded at the 50 by Cash Lewandowski, who's going to take it to the right to the 40. He's got a lot of speed. Cuts back and chopped down at the 30-yard line. But a great punt return there out of Lewandowski.
Yeah, you call him Mr. Momentum. I call him Mr. Reliable, I should say. He's been reliable tonight here for Rockhurst. And now the Hawklets get their first drive here, and with excellent field position. Not only excellent field position, but you get the ball on Lee Summit West side of the field already. This is the second time that we've seen them open their drive on Lee Summit West half of the field.
Yeah, and just brutal for the Titans. You have that massive play. It's called back on a holding. And then you get another penalty on a deep shot. You have to punt it. So a lot of penalties working against West. And unfortunately, that's not what you want to see at all in this game if you are a Titans fan, because you know from previous weeks that's where they've gotten into trouble is with those penalties. So in a close game, down by 7, penalties ending that first drive is not ideal. Pitch play here to Lewandowski, who's going to be wrapped up at the line of scrimmage, but will fall forward for a gain of around 4.
Yeah, not a bad carry right there by Lewandowski. Obviously, you know, most of these runs that Lewandowski has had without taking a look at the stats, you know, I don't know if there's live stats available for us to look at, but I swear Lewandowski has averaged 5-6 yards a carry tonight. So I expected them to kind of lean on Lewandowski a little bit tonight, if not maybe more than a little bit, and they've done that so far.
A gain of 2 there to Lewandowski. I gave him a little bit extra, so 2nd and 8 now for Rockers. Lewandowski on a trick play, pitches it back, and the Titans are all over this one, going nowhere like a swarm of bees to the football, and they're bringing them down for a loss of around 7.
Yeah, Ronnie Toombs,
the usual suspect for the Titans, making the tackle in the backfield.
Yeah, at least in the West, they were ready for it. Obviously, we've seen a little bit of trickery from the Rockhurst offense tonight, but a double end around, you know, at least in West, not today. And they get a loss of 7, so now 3rd and 14. And the Honklets are going to have to get all the way up to the 22-yard line for the first.
Yeah, big 3rd and 14 on their first drive. Remember, they had quite a few 3rd downs that were 3rd and long, and they were able to get them. So we'll see if they have another 3rd and long play in the play call sheet. Drop back, Miller looking downfield, trying to buy time. Flag up, launches it in the end zone. Wide open, touchdown Rockers with the penalties pending. Wide open, an easy catch there, but you got to think this penalty is going against Rockers when somebody's that wide open. We'll see.
Yeah, the flag's down at the 19-yard line. I see another flag down at the 21-yard line. So I see 2 flags on the field in different places. It looks like it is going to be a touchdown, though, for Rockhurst.
So both, looks like, or the one penalty, all against the Titans, and it is a Rockers touchdown. How do you like that? Wide open, big-time play there. And that'll make it now 21-7 Rockers.
Another 35-yard touchdown pass from Miller to Blake Thomas, who had an interception in the first half and now gets a touchdown here in the opening moments here in the third quarter.
The extra point now for Rockers, trying to make it 21-7. There's a lot of discussion going on here before this extra point. Now they'll let him go. Yeah, interesting there. I don't know what those penalties were because they didn't really talk about them. You know, you see 2 flags on the field and no announcement from the officials. The kick is perfect for Rockers. So that'll make it 21-0. Going back to that touchdown play, what did you see? I know there's a lot of moving parts going on during that. But what did you see out of Rockers there to get that touchdown and go on top 21-7?
Well, you know, Lisa West had the ball to open up the second half, had a couple of penalties really that hurt them on that first drive, and Rockhurst started their first drive of the second half with great field position. Not only that, but, you know, it had a couple of little shaky moments to open up that first drive. You know, getting the ground game going with Lewandowski. You know, not much going. You had that double end around that ended up for a loss of 7, and then you get a penalty that pushes you up forward a couple of yards. And it was just a great throw over the middle by Garrett Miller to Blake Thomas for 6. I mean, it was just surprising how much space he had in the end zone. There was nobody covering him, so it must have been blown coverage, but just a really good executed drive by this Hocklet offense, and now they're up by 2 possessions.
Yeah, big-time touchdown there for Rockers. Kind of a big exhale, you know, in a one-score game, you're feeling the pressure. I mean, now only up by 14, but a little bit of room to work with. If you're the defense, you can play a little bit looser now. You got the 2-possession lead behind you. But, yeah, on the touchdown, I mean, my initial thought, I mean, Thomas was so open, you had to imagine the penalty was on Rockers. I mean, how does the guy get that open? Broken coverage. And my hat off to Miller there, buying us some time. I mean, West had some pressure on him, forcing him to roll out. He was able to evade that pressure and find the wide open receiver. So now up by 14. Rockers will kick this one off back to the Titans, and Lee Summit West will need to answer. We're now 7 minutes, 24 seconds to go in the third quarter. Kick is off and away. Spiraling to the right sideline. It's a short kick returned by the Titans. He's got a lane to go to the 50, to the 40. Look at his speed, 30, 20. He's going to stroll all the way Touchdown, Titans.
Well, what a way to respond after giving up that 35-yard touchdown pass, a kickoff return right after that. What a way to respond.
All the way. How do you like that? Like you said, a great way to answer for the Titans. That is going to now make it 13 points for this Titans offense. Extra point here would be their most points they've scored all season at home. You know, and I feel bad. I just talked about how Rockhurst could excel up by 14, and you blink, and it's back to that one-score game. Extra point down, up, and good. That'll make your score Rockhurst 21, Lee Summit West 14. An impressive play by the Titans. It was an interesting kickoff there. Like I said, it was kind of a short spiraling to the right sideline. I don't know if that's what he intended on because, you know, the coverage for Rockhurst was really just right at the middle. They left him on the left sideline. There was no one there. He made one guy kind of miss, which I believe was the kicker, and he was off to the races. I believe that
He thought the Rockhurst, their kicking team, they probably thought that the returner was going to run to the right side, but there was just so much space out there on the far sideline, and just a really good kickoff return. And yeah, a short kickoff. I mean, does Rockhurst now change that up and go, all right, you know, we're not going to kick it short anymore? I mean, it's kind of dangerous for them now because, like, if they kick it short, you're risking a kickoff return. You're worried about that now, whereas, you know, if you kick it deep, you're also worried about maybe the Titans taking it back to the house. But I mean, just what a great way for Lee Summit West to respond. You know, being down by 2 scores. You know, it's the furthest that they've been down so far in this game. And now it's back to a one-possession game. I mean, we've got a ball game here on our hands.
Last time the Titans scored, they did the onside kick. How gutsy are they? Do they try it again to get this ball back? Still down by a touchdown. We'll see if they'll kick this one off and away, or they might try to do a squib kick, onside kick, something here. But a lot of momentum riding with the Titans now after that big-time kick return. Kick is up and away. Rockhurst will look to return it. It will be returned by Rockhurst to the 20, to the 25, laying on the right side, and then tackled falling down at the 31-yard line. A good return there by Rockhurst. Blake Thomas, the man who had a wide-open touchdown a drive ago, now with around a 30-yard return, giving Rockhurst decent field position to start this drive. A drive ago, Rockhurst started at the 40-yard line. This time, a little bit further to go. If you're Rockhurst, I think, in my opinion, you just get back to running the ball. I think you got a one-possession lead. You got 7 minutes and 9 seconds to go here in the third quarter of this game. Just take some time off, feed Lewandowski, maybe give Coppinger, the fullback, a handful of carries up the middle, and to see how much time you can take off. If you can end it in the end zone, go into the fourth quarter up 14, you like your chances.
Absolutely.
2 receivers to the right here. It's going to be a handoff up the middle. Lewandowski met at the line of scrimmage and then falling forward for a gain of around 2.
Yeah, not much going right there. I mean, Lee Summit West, they're feeling the juice and the energy after that kickoff return, and I mean, that's a way for you to kind of get some confidence back on your side. I mean, Rockhurst, after that second interception by Edwards, in fact, it was Blake Thomas that came up with that interception. I mean, it just the momentum has shifted back and forth. So it's been fun so far.
3 receivers, 1 fullback to the left.
That's some movement.
Hard snap there by Miller, and he got him. That might be going against the Titans.
Yeah, it looked like Lee Summit West jumped right before the snap. And Rockhurst, they were just standing still and did their job. And obviously, in those hard counts, it's really I would imagine I have never played a lineman position. I mean, I played football before, but I mean, it's just really hard to stand still, especially at a hard count, because if you move a muscle, if you move a muscle, I mean, people will know, and you'll get that penalty called on you. It's obviously very hard to do.
Yeah, it's going to make it 2nd and short now. 2nd and 3 was the 2nd and 8 with the hard count. And that's one thing Rockhurst can do. Miller starts under center a lot. When you're right there down to the line of scrimmage, those hard counts, they are tricky. Handoff up the middle, Lewandowski shifting back to the right and then falling forward near the line of scrimmage. We'll see if they'll give it to him, and they do. First down.
That's awfully close to the first down marker. He barely got there, but a really good run.
The right field judge, the sideline judge, really quick to give that first down. I thought it was pretty close too, but he obviously saw something that He knew it was a first down. So 1st and 10 for Rockers now at the 39, 40-yard line. Excuse me. They'll come up here, staying in this jumbo set. Fullback lined up to the left of the left tackle. They're going to fake the handoff up the middle. Drop back. Miller launches it downfield. Got a man open, jumping up and caught.
Wow!
What a catch, double coverage, and Blake Thomas comes down with it.
Man, he's just been making plays on both sides of the ball all night long. Not only did he come down with that catch, but he also caught that in double coverage.
So the big
unfortunately, we got an injury on the field.
Big play there by Blake Thomas, but he's a little shooken up. That is Blake Thomas. Once again, had a touchdown earlier, having a massive game here for Rockers. And with that injury timeout, we're going to take a quick break and be right back here on 810varsity.com.
Tacos, burritos, nachos, and bowls, fresh frozen drinks, ice cold beer, and desserts. Tiki taco, tiki taco.
My name is Bree McNally. I am actually a server downtown at Grunauer. Our 15-year-old son was in an automobile accident and he was taken by ambulance to Children's Mercy Hospital. So when I called Eric, he just, was upfront about everything, let me know what the process would be. So Eric was easy to communicate with. I could Facebook Messenger him, call the office, text him, and he was always super responsive and handled everything in a timely manner.
Welcome back to Titan Stadium. The injured player for the Hawklets was Blake Thomas. He was able to get off the field with the help of a coach. So now 1st and 10 after the big play by Rockers. Is going to be hand up off the middle to Cash Lewandowski, squirming forward for a gain of 7 on 1st down. That should make it 2nd and 3 now for Rockers.
Yeah, a really good run right there. I mean, going back to the run game, I mean, this Rockhurst offense, they, not just Cash Lewandowski, but they've really averaged 6 to 9 or 6, 7, 8 yards a carry here throughout this game, and they've done a good job in the running game aspect so far, and I expect them to continue on with that.
So 4 yards here on 2nd down for Rockers. 2nd and 4. They'll come out in their heavy set. They'll hand it off to the fullback up the middle, plowing through Titans and falling forward for a gain of 7. Coppinger with a hard-fought run.
Well, they've given the ball to Coppinger here and there at times, and he's picked up some nice yards for them in some important 3rd down conversions. He got another injury timeout on the field.
And we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back here. It looks like there's a Titan down on the field. We'll figure that out for you, and we'll be right back here on 810varsity.com. Thank you for staying with us.
Does it roll? Does it swing? Does it have a busted spring? If you call Door Systems, we have everything. That's 524-8535. Ask for me, Dory. That'll get you 10% off, Hey, I'm no ding-dong. Call us. Don't forget the 816, silly. Ask for me, Dory.
Welcome back to Lee Summit West High School. Titans now backed up. This defense trying to make a big stop here. 1st and 10 for Rockers. Brock Barrows, number 56, was the injured Titan. Hopefully he's all right, playing both ways a little bit for the Titans. Pitch play to Lewandowski. Going to keep it shallow, working inside of the hashes and fighting forward for a gain of 5 on 1st down. Maybe more 4 on 1st down, so good play there by Lewandowski once again. 2nd and 8 now for Rockers. The student section having a little bit of fun. I don't know if you're hearing them.
Oh, yeah, the Rockhurst students are chanting, "We can't hear you," so both student sections are having a face-off on who could be the wildest here tonight. It's always entertaining.
3rd quarter, 3:35 to go. Rockers is knocking on the door, trying to extend, back up by 14 points, trying to find that 2-possession lead one more time. This Titans defense needs to come up big. 2nd and 8, player in motion, fakes the pitch, roll out for Miller. Man wide open, catching it and walking into the end zone. Touchdown, Warren Robertson.
Yeah, he was wide open and nobody was there to cover him. And Blake Miller, though, gets his second touchdown pass of the evening. And Rockhurst's offense, it didn't get off to – I mean, they had a good start. It's just, with the way the flow of the game, they haven't been able to generate as many points. But now they're up by 2 possessions once again. Could we foresee maybe another kickoff return and make this a 1-possession game again? But it's been entertaining so far, back and forth. But Rockhurst, back with most of the momentum on their side.
The extra point is down, kick is up, and it is good. That'll make your score Rockhurst 28, Lee Summit West 14. Going back to that touchdown, I liked what I saw. Rockhurst has ran a toss play either way to the right or the left a lot in this game. You see him going back to it time in and time again, getting the ball to Mr. Momentum, Cash Lewandowski. But a hard fake pitch there by Miller. He's going to bootleg back out to the right. And Robinson kind of ran a zig route. He's going to look like he's going to break left and then cuts back right, and he's wide open. Great play design there by Rockers and their coaching staff, drawing that one up in the red zone. And it was an easy, snap, catch, pitch, touchdown.
Yeah, it was a really easy play, and it caught the Lee Summit West defense lacking. I mean, they just didn't figure – I mean, it was a great fake, though, by Miller. I mean, not only faking the handoff, but that's what really set up the play. So it was a really good fake handoff there by Miller, and a great touchdown throw, an easy touchdown throw.
So now Rockers up by 2 possessions. Last time we were in this situation, don't look away, folks, because Lee Summit West found themselves down by 2 possessions, and it was a kickoff return to answer back before you could say howdy. See if they what's the approach here, you think? You're going to go short again, or you just bomb this one to the end zone after your results from the last kickoff?
It's tough. I mean, if you're Rockhurst, you want to definitely try and kick this one deep, especially after what happened on the previous kickoff. But we'll see. They might go short again.
The student section for Rockers getting rowdy now. Now they're going to kick it deep. It's a deep kickoff, fielded at the 2-yard line. It will be returned by Lee Summit West to the 20, to the 25, to the 30. He's got a lane and then out of bounds at the 36-yard line. Another good return by Lee Summit West. They have been dangerous on special teams.
Yeah, they've been pretty good on special teams, especially in the kickoff return game. And I thought for a half a second that maybe we would have seen another kickoff return for a touchdown because it looked good on the near side, but then Rockhurst was able to cover it up and make that tackle at the 35-yard line, it looks like. So 65 yards for the Lee Summit West offense here to drive down the field and try to make it a 1-possession game once again.
So for the Titans, we talked about they had some decent offensive possessions, but obviously the first drive out, a lot of penalties, kind of stopping that one dead in the water. What do they need to get back to make this a 1-possession game again? Well,
I think you got to be smart in the aspect of not committing any penalties that might hurt you. We saw in that previous drive a couple of penalties really hurt them, especially that holding call. So you got to clean that up and it really establish a consistent running game once again because that's what worked out well for them in the first half.
So Harris at running back, he fakes the handoff, Edwards, and keeps it himself, fighting up the middle. I don't think he gained anything, might have lost a yard.
And a late flag.
I don't know what that's on. And way after the play, the official must have heard something he did not like. And from where he was standing, I got to think this might be going against the Titans.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens. I mean, now Lee Summit West, they're pointing it's on Rockhurst, so we'll see.
We'll see. This is a massive penalty here. A lot of these, like we've said, these Titans have been fighting penalties all year long here at home especially. I will say that first half, there wasn't a lot of penalties. It was a pretty clean first half, but in the second half, the Titans have been riddled with penalties.
And we'll see what the call is here. Unsportsmanlike on Rockhurst.
So it is against Rockers. And, you're up 28-14, and I know Coach Cruz, the assistant head coach, there was my old head coach at Ray Peck. He is not going to be happy about an unsportsmanlike, especially up by 2 possessions. Your defense just had a big play on first down. It was about to be 2nd and 12, and now you're just giving them a first down, and they're almost at midfield. silly mistake.
If I remember correctly, I think both teams have won unsportsmanlike penalty, and they both come in the second half. So the tensions are rising here in the second half between both teams.
Edwards with the receiver coming in motion. Hands it off, fakes it 3 times, and then the jet sweep to Harris up to the 50. A good block and stepping out of bounds. Just enough for the first down. Little trickery there. You know, they bring the receiver in motion, fakes the pitch to him, then fakes the handoff in front of him, and then hands it off to another jet sweep coming the other way.
Well, we talked about Cash Lewandowski for Rockhurst being Mr. Momentum. Well, for Lee Summit West, their Mr. Momentum is Chris Harris. I mean, talk about him tonight. He's been making plays left and right, coming up with a couple of big runs and a couple of big third down conversions. He's been doing it all for this Lee Summit West offense so far.
Harris all alone at the top of your screen, one-on-one. Safety coming over to help. They'll fake the pass to him and hand it off in the backfield. That's going to be Goodwin Vons, and not a lot of room to work with, though.
It looked like the Statue of Liberty play, if you remember, in the Fiesta Bowl between Boise State and Oklahoma, except it was a little bit different. But Edwards had the ball in his left hand and didn't have the ball at all in his right hand. So he will fake and then hand it off right behind the back.
A left-handed handoff after the fake throw. Trickery by the Titans, but needless to say, did not confuse Rockers as they blew that one up at the line of scrimmage. A big 3rd and 2 here for West. And one guy I have not seen in here, and that it's going to be a timeout here. With that timeout, we're going to take a quick break here on 810varsity.com. A minute 55 to go in the third quarter. Titans trailing by 14 in a big 3rd and 2 coming up when we come back.
Welcome to Baker University, nestled in the heart of small town Baldwin City. Our small class sizes means that you'll never get lost in the crowd, and your professors are always within reach. Baker University is more than just a place to earn your degree. We are a community of learners, performers, innovators, entrepreneurs, and competitors from around the world. Baker University empowers students to achieve their full potential in a diverse and ever-changing world. Visit bakeru.edu to get started.
A little bit of Sweet Caroline here on a nice Friday night. A crisp breeze. The sun set hours ago, but these fans are still into this close football game, and now a massive 3rd and 2 for Lee Summit West. Dawson Edwards with the lone back, fullback in front now. They're going to motion. Edwards is going to motion out. Wildcat here right up the middle, and they'll have the first down. I don't know, actually. It looked like he was going to go for it easily. Looks like the near side judge is giving him the first down. The far judge looks a little short. We'll have to talk about this marking. I would imagine the home sideline field judge had a better angle at it. Cash Lewandowski possibly with the biggest tackle of the game right there.
4th and short. I would stay out there if you're Lee Summit West, but they're trying to tell them that they already picked up the first down, but looks like they're going to have to go for it here on 4th and 1.
Yeah, and I got to say, initially it looked like he walked for the first down and then got driven backwards. I think forward progress, it definitely looked like a first down. But for the Titans here, you have a 6'5", 225-pound quarterback. Just do a quarterback power. They did it earlier in the game. It worked out great. I'd like to think he could get a yard.
Oh, they're going to bring out the chains.
And I think that's warranted. I mean, it's a big-time call in a game where the Titans need the first down.
Hey, embrace the chains, because I bet you in
see if we can get a little movement action on this. See if we can catch how close this really is. Here we go. The measurement for you folks at home. Did he have the first down? I vote yes. I think he did have enough. We'll see. It was a kind of a questionable spot, though.
Ooh.
Oh, man.
Inches.
Get out the index cards. Wow. That's a close one.
That's about 4, maybe 5 index cards. Maybe I would say 10 if you stack them all together. But
10 index cards.
But not much. They don't
have to measure in any way possible. We're going to do a 10 index cards away from the first down.
I was trying to
call here. What are you doing? Fourth and a nickel.
Yeah, I mean, just stick to the run game. Maybe have Edwards do a QB sneak. I mean, why not? I mean, you've seen him run the ball. He's very, he can run it up the middle and get you a few yards. I mean, why not give it to Edwards on a QB sneak? I mean, that'd be.
I like it.
That'd be
6'5",
my take.
225, the senior. Who wants it more than him? But he'll line up in shotgun here. Here we go. He comes under center. Possible quarterback sneak. Rockhurst matches. He's going to push forward. Oh, he's got it. He's definitely got the first down.
There you go.
About a yard and a half. Rockhurst players celebrating, but that is a definite first down for the Titans.
Yeah, they thought that Edwards might have fumbled the ball after the end of the play there, but they ruled it dead. I think he might have had a knee down, of course, but a big first down here for Lee Summit West. Down by 2 possessions, trying to fight their way back into the game.
So there it is, a first down for the Titans. I already knew it, but I thought the last one was a first down, so maybe I did. Here we go, 1st and 10 for the Titans now. 2 receivers to the right, a late substitution there, 71 sprinting off field. So 1st and 10, West at about the 40-yard line. Edwards going to keep it himself once again, this time wrapped up quickly. He'll fall forward about the length of his body for 2 yards. And that'll bring up now 2nd and 8. There is a Titan down on the field. Looks like maybe just cramping. He's getting stretched by a player there. Slow to get up. So with that, we'll take a quick break here. I won't even take it to an ad. I think we'll be right back. Player cramping for Lee Summit West. 28-14. The Hawklets on top of the Titans with 31 seconds to go here in the 3rd quarter. Welcome back into Lee Summit West High School. 2nd and 9 for the Titans. The injured player is attended to. A hard motion there. Those Byers coming in motion. A bad snap, mishandled, picked up by the running back, and he's going to lose a ton here. Oh, no. It's going to make it now 3rd and a country mile.
Well, at least Summit West, they were doing a good job driving the ball down the field. A big 4th and short conversion by Dawson Edwards on the QB sneak, like I called. But now 3rd and long, 3rd and 12. Titans are going to have to get all the way up to the 31-yard line of Rockhurst. But it's the end of the 3rd quarter. We got 12 more minutes of football to play.
Yeah, put up the 4s. 4th quarter, who wants it more? Still a winnable game for the Titans, but a 3rd and 15. You're going to need it. We'll be right back here on 810varsity.com after this word from our sponsors.
Tiki taco, tiki taco. Tacos, burritos, nachos, and bowls. Fresh frozen drinks as cold beer and desserts. Tiki taco, tiki taco.
So 3rd and 16 for the Titans. Edwards with 2 backs in the backfield, 2 receivers to his right. Takes a snap, looks downfield, fires, got a man open. Caught short of the line to gain, but a massive pickup there by Lee Summit West. That's going to be Ben Wooden with a gain of around, I would say, 11 or 12. We'll see where they mark it. 12. So now 4th and 4.
You're going to have to go for it. You're down by 2 possessions. It's the 4th quarter now. I mean, you might think you have a lot of time left on the clock, but you really don't. I mean,
possibly the biggest play of the game. 3 receivers to the left and a timeout.
Yeah, it looked like Rockhurst called a timeout right before the snap. They just want to talk things over and try to find a way to get a stop here.
Yeah, we'll keep it here for this timeout because, I mean, this play right here, it's only 4th and 4, but like you said, 11:30 to go in the 4th quarter, down by 2 possessions. The Titans need something to keep this game alive. A turnover on downs here, and Rocker's able to answer back. Could be a big loss.
I got some news for you. I'm searching up some scores around the conference in the Kansas City area. But I got some news for you. Bentonville is defeating Lee Summit North 21-7 in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, that's a big score update. How about that? But, 4th and 4. What do you think the Titans need to do to get this? This is a big play, and obviously, earlier they had the 4th and, like we said, 10 index cards. The quarterback sneak was the call, and it worked. I don't think you're going to quarterback sneak for 4 yards. No,
I don't think they're going to go back to the play that they did on 4th and inches, but 4th and 4, I would imagine maybe do some. I wouldn't even go play action. I would just I would trust Edwards to maybe get a quick pass over the middle or off to the side for a few yards, but 4th and 4.
2 receivers to the right on this 4th down play. Edwards drops back, got his running back open, gets it to him, caught for the 1st down. A big play there by Dawson Edwards, throwing a laser to his running back out of the backfield. Just a quick little wheel route there. And an easy 4th and 4 conversion for the Titans to keep this drive alive.
Yeah, Edwards wasted no time getting that pass off, and he was wide open on the far sideline. And another 4th down conversion here for the Lee Summit West offense tonight.
Yeah, what a catch there by Goodwin Vons, able to pick it up on a big 4th and 4. Now a 1st and 10, 11:25 to go here in the 4th quarter. 2 receivers to the left, 2 to the right. The shotgun running back receiver comes in motion. They will go to him. Edwards will keep it, though, up the middle, fighting for yards. Look at him run. Takes the whole Rockers defense to try to stop him, and he's still fighting forward. Here we go. They're pushing, and now a 1st down. A run of 13 yards on 1st and 10 out of Dawson Edwards, and that's what you get when you're 6'5".
We talked about, Lee Summit West, they should let Edwards run the ball a little bit, and so far here in the 2nd half, I mean, he's had a few carries, and he's been real productive.
Yeah, I mean, how many Hawklets does it take to stop a Titan? A lot is your answer. So now 1st and 10 for the Titans. This drive seemingly moving perfect now for the Titans after the big 4th down conversion. Just need about 19 yards to get this back to a 1-score game. They're going to run it up the middle, trying to bounce it out to the right, but nowhere to go there for Goodwin Vons. A gain of around 3 or 4.
Yeah, not a bad pickup there. I mean, when you get 3 or 4 yards, it's not always the end of the world, but they just need a few more yards to get that 1st and goal.
7 yards now on 2nd down. Edwards fakes the handoff, is going to roll to his left, throwing it to his left corner, diving down. Does Harris got it? They're going to say catch at the 1-yard line. The number 1 target for this team, Edwards to Harris. A big-time catch as Rockers is on their heels now. West knocking on the door.
Yeah, that was a great catch by Harris. Right, I mean, he was close to that goal line, but now it's 1st and goal at the 1. I would expect maybe Edwards to keep it himself on a QB sneak, perhaps, but maybe they'll go play action and fake the Rockers defense.
Edwards lined up a shotgun, but last time he hurried up to the line of scrimmage. The jet sweep here. Edwards keeps it himself, plowing forward. Touchdown, Titans. Dawson Edwards. He ran it a handful of times in this drive, and how right is it for him to finish it off with a rushing touchdown?
Yeah, that was a great way to end the drive. Dawson Edwards has been very productive with his feet so far here in the second half and gets a rushing touchdown to make this a one-possession game once again. And now it's going to be up to Rockhurst to hold their lead, with 10:15 to go. They took 6.5 minutes off the clock on their first drive. And we could potentially be seeing Rockhurst playing the time possession game here in the latter half of this game.
Extra point is up and good. Rockhurst almost got there in time to block it. That would have been big. So now 28-21. We'll keep it here with 10 minutes to go. Austin, we talked about Dawson Edwards' ability with his legs. I mean, a lot of times this season we've seen them try to get the run going with him, but a lot of times he's kind of stopped in the backfield. Not the fastest of guys, but, man, he's a lot of body to bring down, coming in at 6'5", 225. What did you like out of that drive out of the Titans?
I mean, they just they ran the ball very well, and to start off the second half, I mean, they weren't getting a whole lot of production done in the run game, but once they got the ball back, they were determined to go back to what they were doing best in the first half and keeping it on the ground. Chris Harris coming up with some big plays once again. I mean, he's been the star of the show for this Leesama West offense, but that was a great run there by Edwards to find his way into the end zone and get his confidence up as well here in a very feisty game between one team that's looking for their first win at home and the other trying to stay perfect and trying to look to get to 4-0.
Yeah, and 4-0, how nice would that be for Rockhurst? I think back to a year ago, Rockhurst kind of did the same thing. They started out really well. We're a top-ranked team and kind of spiraled a little bit at the end of the season. But right now, looking good, 3-0 still, trying to improve to 4-0. They are up by 7, and they get the ball. So now this Titans team and fan base is begging the defense to get him a stop here, give him a chance to tie this thing up. But they're going to have to stop Cash Lewandowski, Mr. Momentum, as this kick is off and away. A short kick to the right. It's going to bounce and then be fielded around the 20-yard line. Cutting back to his left, he's got a little bit of room to the 25 and then falling down at the 30. And that is where Rockhurst will take over.
But yeah, it'll be interesting to see what Rockhurst does on this next drive. They're up by a touchdown, so they're thinking hang on to the ball for as long as you can and keep that Leesama West offense off the field because they if you give them the ball back here late in this game, they could drive down the field and try and maybe tie it up here, but interesting to see what Rockhurst will do here on their next drive.
So 1st and 10 for Rockhurst, and I got to think you just go to Cash Lewandowski. Keep it on the ground. Don't throw an interception. Don't do anything to turn the ball over. Lewandowski's been sure-handed all night long. I think they can run this ball pretty well. And still, 10 minutes is a lot of time. Anything can happen. Two receivers to the left, one tight end to the right here for Miller. Lewandowski in the backfield, and that's who they will give the ball to, working up the middle, but met at the line of scrimmage. Only a gain of around 1 for Cash Lewandowski. Lewandowski with 2 touchdowns already in this game for Rockhurst. On this drive, see if he can make it a third, but a good stop there by the Titans.
Yeah, I mean, Leesama West, they haven't been winning the battle every single snap up front, but, man, with how big this front line for Rockhurst is offensively, Leesama West, they've done a good job of getting around those guys and slowing down the run game at times. But, Lewandowski has been getting the job done. But, however, on the flip side, they are getting some stops here and there.
Staying in this heavy set with a fullback and a tight end out there. They're going to fake the handoff. It's going to be a drop back. A lot of pressure. Miller over the head of his intended target, and he'll be slammed down. Cash Lewandowski tackled hard on that one, even though the ball went over his head. Good pressure there by the Titans.
Yeah, good pressure indeed. And obviously Miller had to get that ball off quick and try to look for Lewandowski. Got it off in time, but just put too much height underneath that pass. But now 3rd and 9. And they might go back to the air again.
I don't want to jinx it because I did last time, so I won't say what's been the common theme on these 3rd and longs in this one, but if you're catching my drift, Rockhurst usually converts. So 3rd and 9, the Titans needing to find a stop here, get the ball back to their offense, give them a chance to tie this game up. 9:19 to go here in the 4th quarter. As they'll come out with a fullback directly lined up behind Miller. Lewandowski in the backfield. It's going to be a drop back. He goes to throw it. He fumbles the football. The ball's on the ground. Who's got it? The Titans think it's them. They're celebrating Titans football. A massive Garrett Miller is hit, fumbles the ball, and it's recovered by the Titans. They're going to take over at the 25-yard line.
2 turnovers for both teams, so the turnover battle's even now. And like we've been talking about all night long, we've seen the momentum shift to Rockhurst, and then to Lee Summit West, and then back to Rockhurst, and then to Lee Summit West, back to Rockhurst, and now Titans down by a score. They have a chance to tie it up here in the fourth quarter late.
You know, going back to the play before that, we watched Miller drop back and get nailed as he threw it, overthrowing his guy. I was going to say a risky play, but, I mean, you're getting hit as you're throwing the ball close to a fumble. I almost mentioned it. And then, of course, you fast forward to the next play. They run a similar hard play action. And once again, Miller's got a defender right in his face, nowhere to go with the football. He gets crushed, turns it over, and now this Titans offense is going to try to tie this game up in plus territory. Edwards will hand this one off up the middle to Harris, the receiver, shifting lanes, turn it upfield, breaking to the right, and tackled down as these Titans have all the momentum. Harris, the receiver, lined up at running back, gaining a ton of yards, and he'll be down at the 7-yard line for a 1st and goal. As there's a player down for Rockers as the trainers will come out. We're going to take a quick break here on 810varsity.com with this injured player. We'll be right back after this word from our sponsors.
My name is Bree McNally. I am actually a server downtown at Grunauer. Our 15-year-old son was in an automobile accident and he was taken by ambulance to Children's Mercy Hospital. So when I called Eric, he just, was upfront about everything, let me know what the process would be. So Eric was easy to communicate with. I could Facebook Messenger him, call the office, text him, and he was always super responsive and handled everything in a timely manner.
Welcome back to Titan Stadium. The injured player for Rockers is able to walk off the field under his own power, so a good sign there. But shifting gears now, 1st and goal for the Titans. A big run there for Chris Harris. So 8 yards away for the Titans, trying to tie this game up after the big fumble. We can't forget about it. Miller, the quarterback for Rockers, was hit, fumbled it on 3rd down, giving the Titans the ball near the 25-yard line. Harris fakes the handoff and takes it himself up the middle. Edwards is going to be tackled down near the 3-yard line.
Yeah, another good run there by Edwards, and he's been productive here in the second half with his feet, and now that pushes them closer to the goal line. Maybe go back to the run game once again.
Lyles checks in at running back for the Titans, only with 1 carry on the night so far, as Rollinson checks out. A different look now for the Titans. Edwards surveying the defense. Receiver comes in motion. It's going to be Harris. They're going to give it to him. Working to the left side, trying to find anywhere to go. Working, sideline, pushing forward. Touchdown, Titans! Way to find the edge, Chris Harris. He's in for a big-time touchdown. It's going to make it 28-27.
Well, Chris Harris finally gets a touchdown here late in this game with a chance to tie it up here with the extra point with about 8 minutes left. Chris Harris is making plays all night long for this Lee Summit West offense. Finally finds his way into the end zone.
A massive touchdown there by Chris Harris. I got to give the kid a nod, on the jet sweep initially, running into the backs of his linemen, trying to find anywhere to go. It looked like it was going to be stifled. The extra point is up, and it is true. This game is all tied at 28 apiece, but yeah, Harris just kept working further to the left. Finally found a lane, lowered his shoulder, and broke the tackle into the end zone. How about Harris tonight?
He's been unbelievable, and it's good to see him finally get into the end zone after just seeing the amount of big-time plays that he's been making tonight. And we're now tied up at 28 apiece, and going back to kind of what you were talking about earlier, Cade. Rockhurst coming in, they thought, we're the bigger team, we're ranked, all this stuff. But at least Summit West, I talked about it, they're trying to get their first home win, and now, we're tied up here at 28 apiece. I mean, we got a ball game on our hands, folks.
Peeking over a few booths, looking at the Rockers coaching staff here in the booth with us. I saw a guy take his hat off, guy scratching the head. How did that happen? It was 28-14. Seamlessly just a few seconds ago. It just seemed like 4 or 5 minutes ago in the game. But the Titans roaring back with one of their best performances of the season. And now they have the number 5 team in the Metro on the 810 varsity power rankings on the ropes, possibly seeing if they can knock them out.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what I mean, I said it on the previous drive. It'll be interesting to see what Rockhurst does, but you fumble the ball away. Now we're tied up here at 28 all. I mean, they're going to have to drive down the field and produce a game-winning drive.
The kickoff will send it away to Rockers. You were up by 2 possessions, but even though now it's tied, you still get the ball with an opportunity. With just around 8 minutes to go in the fourth quarter, a booming kick out of the Titans. It's going to be fielded at the 2-yard line and return to the 20 and brought down at the 22. Good coverage by the Titans. And a late flag comes out. We'll see who this is on way after the play.
I think this could be on Lee Summit West here, and I don't know, might have been a block in the back. I'm not quite sure. We'll see what the call is.
Yeah, I would have to think this was against West. It might have been maybe a sideline warning, possibly. If you saw a lot of the West players ran onto the field there to celebrate.
And it's an unsportsmanlike penalty on Lee Summit West. That's their second unsportsmanlike penalty tonight.
We've seen 3 unsportsmanlikes in this game, 1 on Rockers, now 2 on Lee Summit West. Those are big-time penalties, as that is going to move Rockers way up. So what was a really good coverage should have been the 21-yard line as the starting point for Rockers. They're going to be set up at about the 38-yard line. So here comes that Hawklets offense. They've been solid all night long. We talked about it a drive ago. It was the fumble by the quarterback for Rockers. Turned the ball over, gave Lee Summit West the ball in plus territory. Miller has been flawless all night. One mistake, he's got to shake it off. A winnable game here for Rockers still. Is he going to call his own number up the middle, and Miller's going to fall down for a gain of 4 or 5?
Well, definitely didn't see that coming. I mean, you don't expect Miller to keep it himself and call his own number, but a gain of 5, a pretty good pickup.
I think Miller's been watching Edwards call his own number quite a few times recently, roaring back. He's like, I can do that too. Let me see what I can do with this football. And a good gain there on first down, making it 2nd and 5 now for Rockers. Under center is Miller. Cash Lewandowski behind him. They're going to fake the pitch. No, it is a pitch to Lewandowski. He's got it on the edge. Hurdling a man, staying up, fighting forward, and gaining the first down. What a run by Cash Lewandowski. We've nicknamed him Mr. Momentum tonight because every time Rockers need something, he seems to be the one they go to.
Yeah, I mean, that's the second time I've seen Lewandowski hurdle over a group of defenders coming right at him, but another good pickup there for Lewandowski. It's going to be an important first down here, but that was a big run there for Cash.
Yeah, Cash has shown a handful of times tonight he is willing to go aerial, jumping up like Ezekiel Elliott. 2 receivers to the right of Miller. Tight end stacked to his left. Single back, going to hand it off to Lewandowski up the middle, plowing forward for a gain of 3 or 4. Now, Lewandowski comes in at 5'10", 190. But he runs like he's 6'2", 220. I mean, a lot of force.
Yeah, he's an angry runner too. I mean, when you have a little bit of feistiness in you, and it really helps get past that line of scrimmage and past those couple of defenders coming at you at first. But I mean, Cash has been unbelievable tonight in the run game.
Yeah, anybody that's played football, those guys in your team that just have that high motor, high intensity. And Cash Lewandowski has been that man tonight for the Hawklets. A bunch to the right here. Haven't seen this a lot. High snap, mishandled, but it's going to be bobbled and caught by Lewandowski, who's lucky and gets back to the line of scrimmage. It's going to make it 3rd and 11. Almost disaster play. Still kind of was there for the Hawklets.
Yeah, it could have resulted in yet another fumble. It would be their second fumble tonight, but both teams, the whole thing, it's as much as it's cliche to say, it's important to take care of the ball because this game, we're all tied up, and really this game has come down to turnovers.
3rd and 10, and how lucky was Lewandowski, just in the right place at the right time. Miller with the high snap, jumps up and tips it up. Could have went anywhere, went right to his own player. Risky play, 3rd and 10 as this crowd is into it. He's going to fake the handoff, pressure coming. He's just going to lob it up. He's got a man open, Lewandowski. He's got it. First down, breaking tackles, 30, 20, 10, touchdown Rockers.
Now there's going to be a flag at the end of the play here. I'm not sure if this is going to be another unsportsmanlike penalty, but oh my goodness, what a play.
Lewandowski. I can't emphasize it enough. I can't even speak here. A 3rd and 10. There's a player down for Rockhurst still here. Sorry, folks. I'm not quite sure on that number, but with the touchdown, the player down, we're going to be right back. We're going to take a quick break. Won't even send anyone an ad. Hopefully this injured player is okay for Rockhurst. We'll give you an update when we get right back. Thanks for tuning in here Friday night on 810varsity.com. Welcome back to Lee Summit West. It was the injured player was Garrett Miller on the massive 3rd down. It was a 3rd and 10 or 3rd and 11, for Rockhurst. They avoided a bad snap over his head. Lewandowski got it on the bobble, but on a 3rd and 10, a drop back by Miller. He had a safety blitzing off his left, an untouched defensive lineman on his right. He stood in the pocket. He stood strong and delivered a dime to Cash Lewandowski, who did the rest, taking it over 45 yards for a touchdown. An extra point is up. It's a deep one, and it is good. There was a unsportsmanlike penalty against Rockhurst after the touchdown. That's why that was a long extra point. But up and good. Hopefully Miller is okay, the starting quarterback for Rockhurst. That could be a big loss.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, what a throw by Miller, though. I mean, for him to not only make that throw, while being prepared to take that type of hit that he took. I mean, it was an unbelievable throw, and the Rockhurst student section chanting his name after he got up and walked off the field. Hopefully Miller will be okay. He's had a great game tonight. Obviously, this game hasn't completely gone the way that Rockhurst wanted it to, but I mean, they put up 35 points on offense in this game. Obviously, when 35 points, it should be good enough to win you a football game. But meanwhile, for this Rockhurst defense, they're going to have to find a way to come up with an important stop, but man, it's just what a throw by Miller.
And what I'm looking for here is the Titans. I mean, they have had the momentum for maybe the latter half of this second half of the game so far, but now Rockhurst with a big 3rd down play, getting a touchdown. How do the Titans respond with Rockhurst now having the momentum? They got to get back into it. They cannot get lackadaisical now. This is still a very winnable game, and this would be a massive win on the season. A win against a top-ranked team like Rockhurst. Number 5, we've mentioned it a few times here in the Metro on the 810varsity.com, top 25. A win for the Titans here. The momentum this gives a team going forward on their season could completely change their trajectory of this season. The Titans will take over. Like you said, a throw by Miller. He was hit hard and brought down. He's able to walk off the field under his own power, so hopefully he'll be okay because, I mean, there's still 5 minutes and 16 seconds to go in this game. Rockhurst now on top, 35-28. The kick is about to be off and away. It is up, and it will be caught. A touch? Did he touch that? No, he didn't. All right, touchback, Titans. 35-28. Rockhurst leads with 5:16, trying to escape the upset here on the road. We talked about it coming up for these teams. Rockhurst with a win tonight would improve to 4-0, and they would be home against Bishop Miege next week. And for West, they got that big rivalry game next week at Lee Summit. So both teams really want this win end of their next week. Rockhurst trying to stay perfect. The Titans trying to get back to 500. And they're going to need a big-time offensive drive to answer the touchdown. For the Titans, this game, regardless of the outcome, win or lose, I think this is going to do wonders for this team going forward.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, aside from who ends up winning and losing, I mean, both teams have had an unbelievable game tonight. It's been a back-and-forth football game, and it's been entertaining to watch.
It's going to be a handoff up the middle, fake it actually, and keep it himself. Edwards, they've been running that quite a few times, a little bit of a quarterback draw play there, and Dawson Edwards, I mean, he's been calling his own number a lot tonight.
Yeah, I think the coaching staff for Lee Summit West, they probably saw something and was like, hey, like, why don't we let Edwards run the ball a little bit? And so far, it's worked out for them here in the second half.
He's got a lot of size, and it's worked out, like you said, a ton for the Titans. He's been kind of their X factor here in this second half of the game. Receiver spread out. Harris, who's had a big night, will motion to the backfield in the Wildcat. They've done this once before. See if Harris keeps it. He'll give it off on 2nd and 9, and then a nice run to the sideline there. It's going to be Goodwin Vons working up the right side, outside of the numbers. Goodwin Vons picking up about 4. Will be now 3rd and 4 for the Titans.
Yeah, I think Lee Summit West will probably go back to the air here on 3rd and 4. Another big third down here. We've been saying that a lot here in the second half, but really almost every single third down has been important for both teams.
Yeah, they always say with games you can dial it down to a few plays, but this one, I mean, there's been so many big plays, it'd be really hard to do that. A 3rd and 4, you got to think if they don't get it, they'll go for it. Possibly a run here. They'll do the jet sweep, fake it, handoff up the middle, and he's tackled, fighting for it, and no, it's going to be 4th and 2. They did a fake jet sweep to Harris and handed it off once again to Goodwin Vons, and he'll be short. It'll be 4th and 2 for the Titans. Welcome, everyone listening on Sports Radio 810.
I'm Austin Eckert. Alongside with me is Cade Ricketts, and we got ourselves a heck of a game here.
Yes, we
4th
do.
and short.
A massive 4th and 2.
We got a timeout.
And a timeout on the biggest play of the game. We'll leave it here. Let's do a little bit of a recap of what we've seen. It was 28-14 Rockers. Rockers was looking very solid, looking like they might be cruising to an easy victory. But Lee Summit West, what did they do to get back into this game?
Well, I mean, first off, they got to get this 4th and short conversion here. I mean, this is arguably the biggest play of the game, really. I mean, if you don't get this, Rockers, they're going to do everything they can to hang on to the ball for the rest of the game. However, though, Lee Summit West, they've got 2 timeouts. So, I mean, obviously, in high school football, you don't have a 2-minute warning, right? So, but you do have 2 timeouts. I mean, it's going to be pretty hard to slow the clock down when you don't have all 3 timeouts to work with if you don't get this 4th and 2 conversion. But, I mean, both teams have been pretty good on 4th down tonight. I will say that. I mean, I think Lee Summit West, though, they've had 2 4th down conversions tonight, and both of them here in the second half. And Rockhurst, they got that 4th down conversion on their first drive of the game, and I think they had another one early on in the 3rd quarter, if I recall correctly, Cade. But
so here we go.
4th and short.
4th and 2 for the Titans. Edwards comes out. He's led this team storming back. It was tied 28-28 just a few minutes ago. Receiver to the top, receiver to the bottom, running back to the left. Edwards with a quick pass and dropped. He had a man open in the slot, but dropped. It's going to be a turnover on downs. He had a man open in the slot. It was a great play design. Edwards zipped it in there, but unable to hang on to it. A massive 3rd and turnover on downs on 4th and 2. I'm lost for words. What do you got there?
I mean, like I said, it was an important 4th down conversion to get in that moment, and drop pass, that's tough. Yeah, very tough, and they got to get a stop. They got to find a way to slow the clock down. You have 2 timeouts to work with, so if you're Rockhurst, if you can get a couple of first downs, this game could be over.
Exactly. Rockers has been successful a lot in this game, keeping the ball on the ground, and that's exactly what they need. So we will run ad-free here for the rest of this game. A 1st and 10 for Rockers. Seemingly a touchdown here could end this game. Titans showing blitz late. A pitch play to Lewandowski up the middle, making people miss and tackled down after a gain of 7. Lee Summit West, they walked the safeties up. They sold out for the run. And Cash Lewandowski, as he's done a lot this game, still able to pick up 7.
Yeah, Lewandowski, though, he's been unbelievable tonight. He had that go-ahead touchdown grab from Garrett Miller, and, that was just an incredible play by the both of them.
Thanks for tuning in and spending your Friday night with us, whether you're listening on 810 Sports Radio or if you're watching on 810varsity.com on our YouTube page. We appreciate you spending your Friday night with us. This has been a great game so far, but with 3 minutes to go, the Titans need a stop to get the ball back. It's going to be a fullback dive up the middle to Coppinger, fighting forward, and he's got the first down, bouncing off of tackles on the fullback dive.
That's a big first down right there. You see Garrett Miller back in the game for Rockhurst. He took that big hit off of that go-ahead touchdown pass to Cash Lewandowski. So good to see him back out on the field and good to see that he's okay. But we'll have a brief timeout.
Player down on Rockhurst. The time is still running down after the player was down. They'll have to get the clock fixed here. So this might be a minute. We can recap some things. We talked about Miller a drive ago. It was 3rd and 8 on their own on the enemy 40 territory of the Titans, working towards the end zone. Miller took a big-time hit, but was able to dump it off to Lewandowski as he got hit. Lewandowski caught it on the 3rd and 8 for about 5 yards downfield on the right numbers, made a man miss, broke 2 or 3 tackles on his way to a big-time go-ahead touchdown. I mean, we were seconds away from Miller getting sacked, not even tenths of a second of him getting sacked. He barely got that one off. He had a safety blitzing from the left, a defensive lineman from the right, but like you said, big hit, helped off the field, back in the game. Great to see that for Miller, the starting quarterback, the junior for Rockhurst. So a 1st and 10 after the Henry Coppinger, number 42. He's the senior fullback, plays a little bit of middle linebacker for Rockhurst as well, was able to pick it up on the 3rd and 4 as this injured Titan is helped off the field, walking off under his own power, always a good sign. This has been a very physical game, Austin, and, you start seeing these guys get, I got a cramp, this, that, or the other, but a lot of these guys have been dinged up, but luckily no serious injuries in the game tonight.
Yeah, I mean, both teams have taken hits left and right. I mean, we knew going into this game that it was going to be a very physical football game because, Rockhurst coming here on the road wanting to get a big win, Lee Summit West trying to get their first home win of the season.
High snap, handed off to Lewandowski, working to the right sideline, picking up a lot of yards. It's going to be a gain of 8 for Cash Lewandowski down to the 7-yard line of the Titans. Now Rockhurst up 35-28 with 2:22 to go in the 4th quarter, and they are knocking on the door. It's going to be 2nd and 2, but like I said, only 7 yards away from the end zone for Rockhurst.
Hey, yeah, if you're Rockhurst, the clock's ticking. At least Summit West, they still have 2 timeouts left to work with, so I don't know if they're going to use any of their 2 timeouts here in this situation, but now we're down to 2 minutes, and Rockhurst just eating up as much of the clock as they can.
You say they just need to stop the run, but what a tall order that is with Cash Lewandowski, Henry Coppinger. They all have it. A bad snap. The ball's loose. I don't know who's got it. This could be a massive turnover. Rockhurst obviously thinks they have it. The Titans are thinking they have it. And Rockhurst football. So Miller able to recover the fumble. It was a bad handoff. Miller was trying to get the ball to Cash Lewandowski, and there's going to be the first timeout of the game. So that's a big play, though, for the Titans. I know they weren't able to recover the fumble, but they didn't gain any yards. That's going to be 3rd and 2.
Yeah, 3rd and short coming up. I mean, I don't doubt that Rockhurst has the ability to pick up the first down with the way their run game has gone so far tonight. Not just Cash Lewandowski, but Coppinger, too, getting some carries. And you've seen Garrett Miller run with the ball a little bit here and there, call his own number. I mean, like I said, he's not much of a running quarterback, but if you need him to run the football, he can get it done for you. But Rockhurst is actually using another timeout here. So Lee Summit West, they still have 2 timeouts to work with, and Rockhurst only has 1 left. I'm interested to know why Rockhurst called a timeout here with 1:42.
I got to just put it on 3rd and 2. You need 7 yards to the end zone. They look at this as a must-score. Let's end this game. Let's walk out of here with the win. So a massive 3rd and 2 here for the Hawklets coming up. Just tuning in, 35-28. Rockhurst leads Lee Summit West with 1:42 to go in the 4th quarter, but Rockhurst is knocking on the door. A 3rd and 2 from the 7-yard line of the Titans. Miller lined up in the backfield. Lewandowski to his right. High snap handled well to Lewandowski, squirming up the middle. Does he have it? It's going to be close. The left judge is running in. The right judge looks like he's marking it short. The left judge, side judge, looks like he might have the first down. They're going to have to measure possibly for this one. Lewandowski very close. It might be a 4th and short.
Yeah, it's a gain of 1, so it'll bring up 4th and 1 here. I mean, if you're Rockhurst, I would just go ahead and kick the field goal and, perhaps make this a 10-point game. That would be the route to go if I were them. But I don't know. Maybe they try and go for it here and go up by 2 touchdowns instead. But
how much does the coach trust his kicker? This is a big-time play here. If he makes the field goal, like you said, it would extend this lead 35-28. It would make it a 10-point, 2-possession lead for Rockers with under a minute 30 to go, minute 26 exactly in the fourth quarter. But if he misses the field goal, that opens the door right back up for West. If you get the first down, you could practically need the game out.
Absolutely, and I think Rockhurst will probably bring their kicking unit out to make this a 10-point game here with just under a minute and a half to go. Not much time left on the clock for Lee Summit West, and they don't have any timeouts left. I want to backtrack really quick. I thought Rockhurst had called a timeout moments ago. It was actually Lee Summit West. I was paying attention to the scoreboard, and they still had 2 timeouts remaining for Lee Summit West. But it's Lee Summit West, though, that's using their final 2 timeouts here in these 2 sequences here. But 4th and short coming up.
And I like the play call. Go for the game. It looks like Rockers is going to, well, as they line up here, let's see what it is. They look like they're going to go for it. A 4th and 1, up by 7, trying to end this game for the Titans tonight. Under center, the fullback. It's going to be a pitch to Lewandowski. He's got a lane. Touchdown, Rockers. He's going to squeeze in right outside of his tackle, working up the right hash. Cash Lewandowski will walk in for a touchdown. That'll make your score now Rockers 41. 41. A big-time run there from Lewandowski with his 3rd touchdown of the night. Fourth touchdown of the night.
Yeah,
Let me correct myself.
Yeah, he's had a heck of a night tonight, and a big driving force for this Rockhurst offense. And I mean, he's pretty much the star of the game, in my opinion.
Definitely the MVP tonight for Rockers. Cash Lewandowski, 4 touchdowns. He's done it through the air and on the ground as the extra point is up and good. So now 42-28, Rockers over Lee Summit West. Not a lot of hope now for the Titans in this one. Even if you're able to score fast, you'd have to do an onside kick as they're out of timeouts. Like you said, they spent their last 2 timeouts a drive ago.
Yeah, Lee Summit West, they had that onside kick in the first half, and it was successful. So if they could find a way to drive down the field and get a touchdown, I mean, go back to last week when, in a tough game against Liberty North, they picked up 2 late touchdowns off of 2, I believe, 70-yard touchdown passes from both Dawson Edwards and the backup quarterback Noah Herrera, who came in for the final 2 minutes of that contest. So Lee Summit West is capable of producing a big play that can get them a quick score. Just based on what we saw last week. But, they're going to have to find a way to do it again here with just under a minute and a half to go. But
yeah, and I think it's also noteworthy when it was 21-7 for the first time in the game back then. Rockers had taken a 2-possession lead. They kicked it off to Lee Summit West, who ran it all the way back it was a short kick to the field at the 40, took him back for a touchdown. So like I said, if Lee Summit West could score on a kick return, and that changes everything, could make it back to a 1-score game. So still an important kickoff to go. Maybe a squib kick is what you would do if you're Rockers here. Trying to keep this on the ground, not let Lee Summit West get a chance at even returning this for a touchdown. As the kick is all ready to go. It is a booming kick. They will let him return it, but it is actually over the head of the Titans, and they will not return it, so it'll be a touchback. Titans will take over. A minute 23. So at the 20-yard line, the Titans get the football, down by 14 points. 14 points is a lot. But early, like we said, they had the kick return, then they had the quick interception. They were able to find 14 points fairly fast. So anything is still possible, but it would have to be a quick touchdown by the Titans. They're all out of timeouts. They cannot stop the clock in this game. And down by 14 with a minute 23 to go. It's going to take a quick score on an onside kick. They're 1 for 1 on onside kicks so far on the night.
Yeah, no timeouts left to work with. I mean, you got to find a way to get out of bounds quick, maybe get a couple of spikes down if you're Dawson Edwards, but interesting drive coming up here, down by 2 scores.
So 1st and 10 from their own 20-yard line. They're going to go bunch to the left, 5 wide. Receiver comes in motion. Edwards drops back, launches it down the seam in the middle of the field, and it's going to be caught quickly as they will hurry it up. Down to a minute 19 to go, down by 14. The Titans moving fast here. Going to drop Corey Lyles in the backfield. 2 receivers to the right of Edwards, 2 to the left. Edwards drops back, launches it to his favorite target. It's going to be caught once again by Chris Harris. A gain of around 11 as they are moving quickly, already at the 45-yard line from the 20. So with 25 yards and 2 plays for the Titans. Edwards once again drops back, feeling a little bit of pressure, is going to step up. He's going to keep it himself and run it, and stumbling forward, he's going to pick up another 11 or 12. We're now at 56 seconds to go here. Titans moving fast still. Rockhurst not sending a lot of pressure, and Edwards will spike it. 51 seconds to go in the fourth quarter. It's going to be a 1st and 10 from the 42-yard line.
Yeah, I mean, they got the ball out quick. Edwards had a couple of quick throws over the middle, got one to Chris Harris. I mean, keep doing that. If you want to try and get a quick touchdown, I mean, that's the recipe to success here for this drive for Lee Summit West. And again, no timeouts left, 51 and a half seconds to go. Got to find a way to get out of bounds.
So they'll hurry up to the line of scrimmage, 2nd and 10 after the spike, stop the clock. Edwards is going to drop back. He's going to throw it to his man in the slot, caught in the middle of the field, and then ragdolled backwards. Rockers, that's a smart play there. They're holding up the Titans, trying to make them not be able to hurry up to the line as fast as they want after the gain of 4. 3rd and 6 now for the Titans. Edwards drops back, quick pass underneath. Once again, they're just kind of taking what Rockers is giving them. It's going to be a 1st down now, moving to the Rockers 30-yard line. So 30 yards out for the end zone as we're down to 29 seconds. The clock's still running. Edwards will take it and spike it once again with 26 seconds left to go, down by 14.
Interesting, interesting way to spike the football down. Usually you get under center and you quickly throw it down to the ground, but Edwards is in shotgun and he's throwing it down. You never know. Maybe a lineman could play heads up and catch that ball before it gets to the ground. So a little bit of a dangerous spike.
Yeah, he definitely he's just sitting there and chucking it into the ground. It is getting a little bit of a bounce. So here we go. 2nd and 10 from the 30-yard line. Edwards drop back. This time they do send pressure. Edwards throws it. It's going to be dropped. He had a man wide open. Could have been a big-time touchdown there. Intended receiver was Roderick Sims for the Titans, but unable to hang on to it. The last couple of plays, Rockers just kept sitting back in coverage. That time they sent the blitz. Edwards got rid of the ball quickly, but unable to haul it in for Sims.
And that's the second drop we've seen, the second biggest drop we've seen tonight from this Lee Summit West offense. You catch both of those balls. We saw that one earlier. And now this one could be a different ball game.
Drop back. Edwards is just launching it to the end zone. Man open, diving, and incomplete. Chris Harris was working in double coverage, giving everything he had up the sideline, dove out for it, and in and out of his hands as he hit the ground. Would have been an amazing catch if he was able to get that one.
Yeah, it would have been an amazing catch indeed. I mean, it was a good throw by Edwards, and he placed the ball, exactly where it needed to be, but it was just really good coverage by Rockhurst after setting the blitz.
So 4th and 10, 17.4 seconds to go here in the fourth quarter. The Titans would need a miracle to tie this game even back up, let alone find a way to get back in front. 3 receivers to the left of Edwards. Edwards is going to bootleg to the left, looking downfield, pressure from behind, launches it to the end zone into double coverage, and caught. Is it a touchdown? No ruling. Incomplete. They'll say he caught it out of the back of the end zone. It was a close call, but the sideline judge was nowhere near the end zone as he got outran. Interesting play there.
Yeah, I was trying to angle it into that far corner of the end zone. It's hard to do that from our angle. We do apologize, but yeah, I mean, just a missed opportunity, and Rockhurst is going to walk away from this one 4-0 with a big win on the road.
Yeah, I heard a big exhale from the Rockhurst sideline there. Obviously, like I said, we've said a few times, the number 5 team in the Metro on the 810varsity.com. They came into this one possibly overlooking the Titans a little bit. Lee Summit West 1-2 on the season. And they're going to walk out of here with a win, but it was a hard-fought win, and it was an extremely close game. The final was going to be 42-28, as I imagine Rockers will just come out and take a knee after the turnover on downs. Going back to that 4th and 10, how interesting was that? I mean, Edwards took a shot, had a man open in the end zone in double coverage. Looked like he dropped it in the basket for a touchdown. The sideline judge on the near side. The home side was standing at about the 30-yard line when the play was in the end zone. No one really had eyes on the back of the end zone, and they just ruled it incomplete. As Rockers will take a knee and the clock will run out here at Lee Summit West High School, and that will end it. Your final, the Rockers Hocklets will move to 4-0 as they win 42-28 over the Lee Summit West Titans on the road.
Yeah, what an incredible football game. I mean, you got to tip your cap to both teams. You know, Rockhurst coming in, you know, a little bit of a scare, you know, throughout most of the game, but you know, they never wavered and they never backed out, and they stuck in it, and they found a way to come up with the victory. The game was tied up at 28 apiece, and Rockhurst, you know, wins it here by 2 touchdowns. I mean, Garrett Miller, unbelievable game from him tonight. Cash Lewandowski, we said it earlier, he's definitely the MVP of tonight's game. But on the other side, though, for Lee Summit West, I mean, had a pretty solid offensive showing. Chris Harris was able to get into the end zone. Dawson Edwards got a touchdown run. Picked up some important 4th down conversions. I mean, it wasn't a terrible day for Lee Summit West. Obviously, you know, no moral victories, right? But however, I mean, there's a lot that this Titans team can build off of going into their rivalry game next week at Lee Summit West. So, you know, they're just going to have to just take a look at the film and just see what went wrong and look to clean that up. And they'll look to take care of business on the road against the Lee Summit Tigers. But on the other side, though, for Rockhurst, I mean, big victory for them. But I will be at Rockhurst High School next week, partner, and I'll have the pleasure of being a part of the call for their game at home against Bishop Miege. So that'll be an interesting game.
Yeah, both of these games, looking forward for both these teams, is going to be a big one. Like you said, Lee Summit West will go at Lee Summit. It's always a rivalry when these Lee Summit teams play each other. And then Bishop Miege, the Hocklets, will be home. You know, 4-0 now. Rockers is on the season, probably going to stay ranked, I would imagine, number 5. They might, I don't know if he'll drop, but respect to Lee Summit West. I think a lot of people overlooked this game. A lot of people thought that Rockers was going to come in here and just kind of steamroll the Titans. The Titans put up a heck of a fight. I mean, this game, if Cash Lewandowski is not on the field for Rockers, I don't know if they win this one.
Yeah, I don't know either. I mean, for him to have 4 touchdowns total tonight and that big go-ahead touchdown pass from Miller to Cash, I mean, that was probably the play of the game, I would say. I mean, there have been so many big plays tonight, like you say, and it's hard to point and pick, you know, which ones, stood out and everything. But I'll tell you that 3rd and long touchdown play tied up at 28 apiece from Miller to Cash, unbelievable.
Yeah, exactly. And, I mean, for the Titans, they got the ball back. They know they were only down by 7, had an opportunity to try to go tie this game up. Unfortunately, turned it over on downs. There was a 4th and 5 play call. They had a receiver in the slot, a man open. Dawson Edwards slinged it in there, hit him in the chest, and was just a little bit maybe too much on that one. Zipped it in there, unable to hold on to it. It was a turnover on downs. Rockers gets the ball over. Turnover on downs. Rockers gets the ball, on the 20-yard line, and was able to just kind of cruise, take some of the time they needed off the clock, and walk away with a win. An impressive game from both teams. And, you know, I think for Rockers, last year they had a good start as well.
Yep.
They kind of fell off towards the end of the year. They did okay in the playoffs, but what do you see from this team going forward? How dangerous are they?
I mean, they're very dangerous. I mean, defensively, not their best game, but they did come up with some important stops. You know, I mean, you're not always going to play your best game on either side of the ball, and you're going to have to rely on one side of the ball to get the job done for you. I mean, the offense tonight for Rockers, unbelievable, and just so many big plays tonight, not just from them, but from also Lee Summit West. But, you know, I would say, you know, for them going into their game against Bishop Miege next week, you know, keep running the football with Cash Lewandowski. Make sure you take better care of the football. There was an interception picked off by Jonathan Panto, the safety for Lee Summit West. I mean, Garrett Miller played an unbelievable game tonight. So, I mean, you know, made some throws when he needed to. But, you know, hopefully Rockhurst can keep Lewandowski healthy. I imagine he'll be a little bit banged up after tonight, but an incredible game from him.
Yeah, and on the flip side of that, for Lee Summit West, want to spotlight some of their guys out here that had a really good night tonight. Dawson Edwards running the ball, throwing the ball, made a lot of smart decisions with the football, able to pick up around 50 yards on the ground running, had that rushing touchdown too, that one drive where he was pretty much their entire offense.
Yep.
And then finding his favorite target a lot tonight, that being Chris Harris. He's got the speed on Chris Harris. I mean, when he's got the ball in open space, there's not many people here in the Metro that are going to be able to keep up with him. Chris Harris with a handful of big-time game-breaking plays, but the Titans come up just short as they're going to fall to Rockers here at home. They're now 0-3 on the year at home, 42-28. The Hawklets roll and move to 4-0.
Yeah, really looking forward to being on the call, being a part of that next week for Rockhurst game at home against Bishop Miege. Obviously, it'll be interesting to see how Lee Summit West does next week on the road. It won't be a long trip for them. They get to stay in town, but across town, rivalry game. It'll be important for them to get a bounce-back victory. Like I said a moment ago, there's a lot that Lee Summit West can build off of here from tonight's game despite the loss. Obviously, I would imagine they don't believe in any moral victories, but, I mean, the offense looked great. It's probably the best offensive showing we've seen from Lee Summit West at home so far, through the 3 games that you and I have done together so far here for Lee Summit West. But defensively, I mean, the one thing that really stood out to me, there weren't a whole lot of penalties tonight. I mean, there were 3 unsportsmanlike penalties, 2 on Lee Summit West, 1 on Rockhurst. Obviously, you don't want to have that, especially in a game like this where it's so close. But, I mean, other than that, they didn't really have trouble with penalties. There were a couple of drives where they had some holding calls that kind of that kind of destroyed their drives. But, I mean, if they can clean that up, they should be able to take care of business next week. But that'll be a good game between the Titans and the Tigers. But really looking forward to next week as I'll be on the call for the Hawklets and Bishop Miege.
Yeah, and we go back to those last 2 home games for the Titans. They've only put up 6 points in their first game here at home, and then 14 the next game. I mean, and you hit it on the head. They've had so many penalties that have killed them. In this game, they were, especially the first half, it was such a clean first half of that offense for Lee Summit West. And as long as they were able to avoid those drive-killing penalties, they were able to find some points and just productive drives, a lot more productive. And even if they weren't able to find points from other games, they were able to keep the ball and just get the time for their defense to catch their breath. We talked about it coming into this one. A lot of 3-and-outs from the Titans in those previous games, so this defense would come on the field. They'd just be gassed. They'd have to be on the field all night long. And on this one, unfortunately, the defense couldn't come up big for them. We'd see if they could have got the stop on that 4th and 1, but it was Cash Lewandowski. And as long as he had the ball in his hands tonight, I don't know if anybody was going to stop him.
Yeah, it didn't seem that way at all. But just a really good football game here from both teams. And, again, a lot that Lee Summit West can build off of. But for Rockhurst, they're going to be feeling good going into next week against a team that's looking to turn looking to flip their season upside down. But Rockhurst, sitting at 4-0, I would imagine they're going to be feeling pretty confident going into next week and returning home. So they'll have a happy bus ride back to Kansas City.
Absolutely, and I think that'll just about do it for us here at Lee Summit West. A great game for this Titans. You got to hope the Titans can get the big win on the road at Lee Summit next week and possibly turn this season around. This obviously is a competitive team as they were able to keep up with Rockers tonight. And I think surprising a lot of people, including us. I don't think either one of us thought they'd put up that fight, but a great, hard-fought game for West regardless of the outcome. Like you said, no moral victories, but I'll give it to them. An impressive step in the right way.
Absolutely, yeah, and despite the loss, a lot that they can build off of. So it'll be interesting to see how next week goes.
Well, thank you for spending your Friday night with us here on 810varsity.com. We have appreciated it. This has been a great game. I'm Cade Ricketts.
I'm Austin Eckert.
And that was an amazing game. Thank you so much.